Imagine, if you will, a life where every trial, every closed door, and every restless moment is not a sign of failure, but a divine signal guiding you toward your destiny. You are not here by accident. Nothing that happens to you is by chance. Everything you experience, every feeling of discomfort, every challenge is a part of a grand design that leads you to your greatest blessing. This journey you are on is not random. It is an unfolding of divine intention, a blueprint set into motion the moment you dare to believe that life holds something more for you. Have you ever felt like your life is shifting in ways that are difficult to understand? Perhaps you're experiencing unusual challenges, or you feel disconnected from the people and places that once gave you comfort. This, my friends, might be a sign that God is preparing you for something greater, something beyond your imagination, a divine blessing that requires growth, refinement, and faith. As you stand on the threshold of this awareness, realize that the universe is always conspiring in your favor. It closes doors, stirs discomfort, and places obstacles in your path, not to break you, but to prepare you for what is already yours. The signs are all around you, whispering of the greater purpose that awaits. This is not the time to retreat. This is the moment to recognize that you are being prepared for something far beyond what you can see, a blessing so profound it will reshape your entire existence. Trust the process. Your divine manifestation is near. Life can often feel like an unpredictable journey, full of ups and downs, twists and turns. In moments when the weight of challenges seems unbearable, it's easy to wonder why things are happening the way they are. You might feel overwhelmed by the obstacles in your path, and it can seem like nothing is going right. But what if these challenges are not just random occurrences, not just difficulties meant to test your patience, but rather a sign that God is preparing you for something greater? What if these obstacles are paving the way for a profound blessing, one that you cannot yet see or understand? When we think of blessings, we often picture them as immediate, positive experiences, an unexpected gift, a promotion at work, or the arrival of something we've long desired. We expect blessings to be easy and obvious. However, more often than not, blessings are preceded by challenges that test our faith, our strength, and our endurance. These challenges are not meant to break us, but to shape us into the person we need to become in order to handle the blessing when it arrives. It's as if God is preparing us, refining us through adversity, so we can fully embrace the gift that's on its way. Increased challenges can come in many forms: personal struggles, financial difficulties, emotional upheavals, strained relationships, or even a sense of spiritual emptiness. At first glance, these obstacles might appear as setbacks, hindering your progress and pulling you away from your goals. You might question why these things are happening to you, especially if you feel like you've been doing everything right. Why would God allow you to go through such difficult times if a blessing is supposed to be on the horizon? The answer lies in understanding the nature of preparation. Think about the process of refining precious metals like gold. The metal must first go through intense heat and pressure to remove impurities. Only after this process is complete does the gold emerge pure and valuable. Similarly, when God is preparing you for a blessing, He allows you to go through situations that test your limits, forcing you to grow stronger and more resilient. It's in these moments of trial that your true character is revealed, and you begin to understand what you are capable of. When challenges arise, the natural response is often to resist them or to seek a way out. We want quick fixes, easy solutions, and immediate relief. But what if the very thing you are praying to escape is the tool God is using to prepare you for the next chapter of your life? It's through these challenges that you are taught perseverance, patience, and trust. Each obstacle serves a purpose, pushing you to rely more on God's strength and less on your own understanding. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible. As a young man, Joseph was favored by his father, but despised by his brothers, who sold him into slavery. He faced one challenge after another: betrayal, false accusations, imprisonment, yet all of these obstacles were part of God's plan to prepare him for a blessing far greater than he could have imagined. Through these hardships, Joseph learned humility, wisdom, and leadership, qualities that would serve him well when he eventually became second in command in Egypt. The very challenges that seemed like setbacks were, in fact, stepping stones toward his destiny. Similarly, when you face difficulties, it's essential to recognize that God is not punishing you but preparing you. The challenges you encounter are not meant to discourage or defeat you, but to strengthen your faith. They are opportunities for growth, allowing you to develop the qualities you will need when the blessing finally arrives. Without these challenges, you might not be ready to receive the full magnitude of what God has in store. One of the most powerful lessons that comes from facing obstacles is learning to trust in God's timing. Often we have our own plans and timelines for how we want our lives to unfold. We pray for certain outcomes and expect them to happen immediately. But God's ways are not our ways, and His timing is perfect, even if it doesn't align with our expectations. When challenges arise, they often force us to relinquish control and surrender to God's plan. This act of surrender is not a sign of weakness but of faith. It's an acknowledgement that we trust God to work things out, even when we don't understand the path we are on. Another important aspect of overcoming challenges is the way they teach us empathy and compassion. When you've walked through difficult times, you gain a deeper understanding of the struggles others face. This understanding allows you to connect with people on a more profound level, offering support and encouragement to those who may be going through similar situations. In this way, the challenges you face not only prepare you for your own blessings, but also equip you to be a blessing to others. It's also worth noting that challenges often bring clarity. In the midst of struggle, we are forced to reevaluate our priorities, our goals, and even our relationships. What once seemed important may no longer hold the same value, and what we once overlooked may become the focal point of our lives. This process of reprioritizing is part of God's preparation. He removes distractions and refines our focus so that we are aligned with His purpose for our lives. Sometimes, the very challenge we face is the catalyst for a breakthrough, guiding us toward the direction we were always meant to go. When you look at your life and see an increase in challenges, remember that this may be a sign that God is preparing you for something greater. Just as a seed must push through the dirt and darkness before it can sprout into the light, you too must endure the struggles that precede your breakthrough. The process may be difficult, and at times you may feel like giving up. But know that God is with you in every step, guiding you through the storm and strengthening you for the blessing that is on the other side. So instead of viewing your challenges as insurmountable obstacles, begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Each difficulty is a piece of the larger puzzle, a necessary part of the preparation that will lead to the blessing God has designed specifically for you. Stay faithful, stay patient, and keep your eyes on the promise that God's plan for your life is far greater than anything you can imagine. The blessing is coming, and when it arrives, you will be ready to receive it in all its fullness. Letting go of the past can be one of the most difficult and emotional experiences we face. The memories, relationships, and experiences we carry often feel like an integral part of who we are. They define our story, shape our identity, and give meaning to where we've been. Yet when God is preparing you for a new blessing, one of the clearest signs is the gentle and sometimes painful nudge to release the things of the past that no longer serve you. The very act of letting go can be a deeply spiritual experience, one that requires faith, courage, and trust in God's plan. There are moments in life when holding on to the past seems comforting, as though it provides stability in a world that is constantly changing. We cling to old relationships, habits, and memories because they represent familiarity, and letting go feels like stepping into the unknown. But what we often don't realize is that by holding on too tightly, we might be blocking the new blessings that God is trying to bring into our lives. The things we refuse to release can become stumbling blocks, preventing us from moving forward into the future that God has prepared. When God calls us to let go of the past, it's not because He wants to take something away from us, but because He wants to make room for something greater. The process of letting go is not just about losing something, it's about creating space for the new and the better. God knows what lies ahead, and sometimes the very things we're holding on to are not compatible with the new chapter He is writing for us. Whether it's an old relationship, a job, a mindset, or even a version of ourselves, holding on can keep us stuck in a place of stagnation, unable to embrace the transformation God is bringing. Consider the story of the Israelites in the Bible. After being freed from slavery in Egypt, they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years before entering the Promised Land. During this time, many of them longed to return to Egypt, where, despite the harsh conditions, they felt a sense of familiarity and security. They were clinging to the past, unable to fully trust God's promise of a land flowing with milk and honey. God had a blessing prepared for them, but it required them to let go of the comfort of the known and step into the unknown with faith. This is the same journey many of us face when we are called to release our past. The process of letting go often begins with a stirring in your spirit. You may start to feel a sense of discomfort or dissatisfaction with things that once brought you joy. What once seemed fulfilling no longer satisfies. This is God's way of telling you that it's time to move on. He is nudging you toward growth, toward a new season. But that growth can't happen if you're still holding on to the things of old. The past may have served a purpose for a time, but there comes a moment when it becomes a hindrance rather than a help. One of the most challenging aspects of letting go is that it often involves relationships, whether romantic, friendships, or even family ties. We invest so much of ourselves in the people around us that releasing these bonds can feel like tearing away a part of our identity. However, not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people are placed in our lives for a season, to teach us lessons, to help us grow, or to provide companionship during a particular time. When that season is over, holding on to the relationship can prevent both you and the other person from moving forward into the new things God has planned. Letting go of relationships doesn't mean that the time spent with those individuals was wasted or meaningless. Every connection serves a purpose, and even relationships that end painfully can teach us valuable lessons about ourselves and others. But there comes a point when we must trust that God knows who and what belongs in the next chapter of our lives. Holding on to relationships that no longer align with our growth can create emotional and spiritual baggage that weighs us down. By releasing them, we free ourselves and allow God to bring the right people into our lives at the right time. The same principle applies to other aspects of our lives, such as careers, dreams, or personal ambitions. Sometimes we cling to an old job or career path because it feels secure, even though it no longer aligns with our purpose or passion. Other times we hold on to old dreams that no longer resonate with who we have become. We may be afraid of failure or of stepping into something new, so we keep ourselves anchored to the past, even if it no longer serves us. But God's plans for us are dynamic and evolving. He may be calling us to a new career, a new dream, or a new direction, but we can't embrace it until we let go of what we thought our life should look like. Letting go of the past also involves releasing the version of ourselves that we once were. As we grow and evolve, we often hold on to outdated ideas about who we are and what we're capable of. We may define ourselves by past mistakes, failures, or limitations, believing that we can never change or move beyond them. But God's grace is transformative. He sees beyond our past and calls us into our potential. When we hold on to an old self-image, we limit what God can do in our lives. Letting go means embracing the person we are becoming, trusting that God is molding us into someone capable of receiving the blessings He has in store. Another area where letting go is crucial is in releasing the pain and trauma of past experiences. Many of us carry wounds from the past, hurtful words, broken relationships, failures, or losses that weigh heavily on our hearts. These wounds can become chains that hold us back, keeping us stuck in a cycle of pain and resentment. God's desire is for us to be healed and whole, but that healing can only begin when we are willing to release the hurt. Forgiving others and ourselves is a vital step in the process of letting go. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing the wrongs done to us. It means choosing to free ourselves from the grip of bitterness and allowing God to heal our hearts. When we hold on to past pain, we are often afraid of being vulnerable again. We build walls around our hearts, believing that by doing so, we protect ourselves from future hurt. But these walls not only keep out the pain, they also keep out the blessings. God wants to pour love, joy, and peace into our lives, but we must first be willing to tear down the walls we've built in trust, that He will guard our hearts. Letting go of past hurts allows us to experience the fullness of God's blessings in ways we never thought possible. Ultimately, letting go of the past is an act of faith. It requires trusting that God's plan for our lives is better than anything we could have imagined. It means believing that He will replace what we release with something far greater, something that aligns with His purpose for us. It's not an easy process. Letting go can be painful, and the uncertainty of the future can be frightening. But when we surrender our past to God, we open ourselves up to a future filled with possibility, hope, and blessings beyond measure. God never asks us to let go of something without offering us something better in return. The past, no matter how significant or difficult, is just one part of our journey. When we trust God and release what no longer serves us, we make room for the new things He is doing in our lives. So when you feel the call to let go, embrace it. Know that God is preparing you for something greater, and the blessings that await are far beyond anything you could have imagined. In life, there are moments when we encounter people or opportunities that seem almost too perfectly aligned with our needs or aspirations. These encounters often come at times when we least expect them, but need them most. They provide support, guidance, or a path forward that feels divinely orchestrated. This is what is often referred to as divine connections. When God is preparing you for a blessing, one of the clearest signs is the sudden appearance of these divine connections and resources in your life, aligning everything in such a way that it's almost impossible to deny that something greater is at work. Divine connections aren't just random events or coincidences. They are a result of God working behind the scenes, bringing people, opportunities, and resources into your life to support the path He has laid out for you. These connections often feel like answers to prayers, even prayers you may not have voiced aloud. The people you meet, the doors that open, and the resources that come into your life are all part of God's greater plan to prepare you for the blessings He has in store. One of the most significant aspects of divine connections is that they often come at pivotal moments in your life. You may be at a crossroads, unsure of which direction to take. Perhaps you've been praying for guidance, clarity, or a breakthrough, and suddenly someone enters your life who offers just what you need. It could be a mentor who provides wisdom, a friend who offers emotional support, or a professional connection that leads to a career opportunity. In each case, the connection feels like a piece of a puzzle falling into place, helping to propel you toward the next phase of your journey. These divine connections are not always grand or dramatic sometimes. They are subtle, almost unnoticeable at first. You might meet someone in a casual setting and only later realize the profound impact they will have on your life. Other times, a chance encounter may lead to a chain of events that completely shifts the trajectory of your life. These moments remind us that God's timing is perfect, and even when things seem random or insignificant, there is often a bigger plan at play. One of the keys to recognizing divine connections is being open and receptive to the people and opportunities God places in your path. Sometimes we are so focused on our current circumstances or our own plans that we fail to see the doors God is opening. We might overlook a person or opportunity because it doesn't fit into the vision we have for our lives, but God often works in ways we can't predict. The connections He brings may not always look like what we expected, but they are always what we need. Being open to these moments allows us to fully embrace the blessings that come through them. Divine connections also often come with a sense of peace and alignment. When you meet someone or encounter an opportunity that is divinely orchestrated, there is a feeling that everything is falling into place as it should. It feels right, even if it doesn't make perfect sense in the moment. There is a calm assurance that this person or opportunity is meant to be part of your journey. This sense of peace is one of the ways God confirms that He is at work, guiding you toward your blessing. Another important aspect of divine connections is that they are often mutually beneficial. When God brings someone into your life as part of His plan, it's not just for your benefit, but for theirs as well. Divine connections are reciprocal. Both parties are blessed through the relationship. You may be the answer to someone else's prayers, just as they are to yours. This mutual blessing is a reflection of God's abundant love and provision, showing that He cares not only for your needs, but for the needs of others as well. In addition to people, God also provides divine resources when He is preparing you for a blessing. These resources can come in many forms: financial provision, opportunities, skills, or even knowledge and wisdom. Just as with divine connections, these resources often appear at the perfect moment, giving you exactly what you need to move forward. You may have been struggling with a lack of resources for a long time, and then suddenly the doors open and the resources you need flow into your life in ways you never expected. Sometimes these resources come through the people God connects you with. For example, you might meet someone who offers you a job, connects you to a business opportunity, or provides you with financial support. Other times, the resources come in the form of knowledge or skills that equip you to step into the new season God is preparing for you. This might mean enrolling in a course, gaining a new certification, or even receiving mentorship in a particular area of your life. These resources are God's way of preparing you for the blessings ahead, ensuring that you are equipped to handle what He is about to give you. Divine resources are not always material. Sometimes the resources God provides are internal, such as strength, courage, resilience, or faith. When God is preparing you for a blessing, He often gives you the inner resources you need to navigate the journey. He strengthens your faith, deepens your trust in Him, and builds your character so that you are ready to receive and steward the blessings He is about to bring into your life. These internal resources are just as important, if not more so, than the external ones, because they lay the foundation for long-lasting success and fulfillment. When God is preparing you for a blessing, He also often calls you to step out in faith, trusting that the connections and resources you need will be provided. This requires letting go of control and surrendering to His plan, even when you can't see the whole picture. You may not always understand how everything will come together, but faith is about trusting that God will provide what you need when you need it. Divine connections and resources are God's way of showing you that He is faithful to His promises and that He will not leave you lacking. As you step into this new season of blessing, it's important to remember that divine connections and resources are part of a larger purpose. They are not just about personal gain, but about fulfilling God's plan for your life and often the lives of others. When God blesses you, He often does so in a way that allows you to bless others. The connections and resources He provides are not just for your benefit, they are tools to help you fulfill the calling He has placed on your life. Whether that calling is to serve others, create something new, or simply be a light in the world, the connections and resources you receive are part of that mission. Divine connections and resources are a testament to God's faithfulness and provision. They remind us that we are not walking this journey alone, that God is with us every step of the way, guiding us, providing for us, and preparing us for the blessings He has in store. When you encounter these connections and resources, take them as a sign that God is at work in your life, setting the stage for the next chapter. Embrace them with gratitude, trust in His timing, and know that the blessings He has prepared for you are beyond anything you could imagine. A heightened sense of faith and trust is one of the most profound indicators that God is preparing you for a blessing. As you navigate life's journey, particularly during times of uncertainty or challenge, there comes a point when you feel an inner pull to trust something greater than yourself. This shift is not simply about believing in a higher power or acknowledging the existence of God. It's about deeply sensing that you are being guided, that the things happening around you are part of a divine plan, and that no matter what, you are being prepared for something bigger and better. Faith and trust are often cultivated in the crucible of adversity. It's during those times when life feels unpredictable, or when things seem to be falling apart, that you learn to surrender control. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of a deeper recognition that there are forces at work beyond what you can see or understand. In the face of challenges, you might begin to sense that God is doing something behind the scenes, aligning situations, removing obstacles, or even closing doors for reasons you can't yet grasp. Your heightened sense of faith grows stronger in these moments as you come to understand that even setbacks can be stepping stones to something greater. As your faith deepens, you begin to shift from asking why certain things happen to trusting that they are part of a grander design. It becomes easier to let go of the need to have all the answers and to control every aspect of your life. This surrender doesn't mean passivity. Instead, it is an active, conscious decision to trust God's plan over your own. You stop fighting against what's happening and start flowing with it, knowing that the challenges, delays, or detours are all part of God's preparation process. A heightened sense of faith is often accompanied by a shift in perspective. You start to see life through a spiritual lens, understanding that what is happening in the physical realm is often a reflection of what is happening in the spiritual realm. You recognize that delays, disappointments, or even losses may be clearing the way for something better. Instead of becoming discouraged, your faith allows you to stay hopeful, even in the face of adversity. You understand that just because you can't see the blessing right now doesn't mean it's not coming. In fact, this trust is what carries you through the waiting period, sustaining you when things seem bleak or uncertain. This sense of trust is a powerful force that changes how you approach life. When you feel that God is preparing you for a blessing, you no longer react to situations out of fear or anxiety. Instead, you respond from a place of faith, knowing that everything is working together for your good. This doesn't mean that doubts won't arise or that you won't feel frustrated at times, but even in those moments, there is a deeper, underlying belief that God is in control. You may face financial hardships, relationship struggles, or career uncertainties, but your faith acts as an anchor, grounding you in the truth that God's plan is unfolding perfectly, even when you can't see it. One of the beautiful aspects of a heightened sense of faith and trust is that it transforms how you view challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as problems, you begin to view them as opportunities for growth and transformation. You understand that God often uses difficult circumstances to refine you, to build your character, and to prepare you for the blessing that is coming. Challenges become a training ground for your faith, teaching you perseverance, patience, and the ability to trust in God's timing. You may find yourself praying more, seeking spiritual guidance, and developing a deeper connection with God as a result of the trials you face. As your faith grows, so does your ability to discern God's voice in your life. You start to recognize His guidance in subtle ways, whether it's through a sense of peace about a decision, an unexpected opportunity, or even a feeling of discomfort that pushes you in a new direction. Faith opens your heart and mind to God's leading, making you more attuned to the signs and nudges He places in your path. You may find that your intuition becomes sharper, that you can more easily distinguish between what is meant for you and what is not, and that you feel a deeper sense of alignment with your purpose. In this state of heightened faith and trust, you also become more comfortable with uncertainty. You realize that not knowing the future or having all the details figured out is not a reason to fear, but a reason to trust. You understand that God doesn't reveal everything at once, because part of the blessing is in the journey itself. The waiting, the wondering, and even the struggles are all part of the preparation process. Each step, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is bringing you closer to the blessing that God has in store. Furthermore, a heightened sense of faith and trust can lead to a deep sense of peace. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances, but comes from within. It is the peace that surpasses all understanding, the kind that remains steadfast even when everything around you feels uncertain. You know that no matter what happens, God is in control. And that knowledge brings an inner calm that nothing in the world can shake. You begin to live with a sense of expectancy, knowing that God's promises are true and that His timing is perfect. This peace also extends to how you interact with others. When your faith is strong, you are less likely to be swayed by negative influences or toxic relationships. You become more discerning about who you allow into your life, recognizing that not everyone is meant to be part of your journey. You trust that God will bring the right people into your life at the right time, and that He will remove those who no longer serve your growth or purpose. This trust allows you to let go of relationships that are holding you back, knowing that God is preparing something better for you. As your faith and trust deepen, you also become more aware of how God provides for you in ways that may not always be immediately visible. You start to see blessings in the little things, in the kindness of a stranger, in an unexpected opportunity, or in a moment of clarity. These small blessings are reminders that God is always at work, even in the details of your life. They reinforce your trust in Him, helping you to remain hopeful and patient as you wait for the bigger blessings to unfold. A heightened sense of faith and trust is one of the clearest signs that God is preparing you for a blessing. It allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace, to remain hopeful in the face of uncertainty, and to trust that everything is working together for your good. This trust transforms how you view obstacles, making them opportunities for growth and preparation. It deepens your relationship with God, sharpens your discernment, and brings a sense of peace that anchors you through life's storms. Ultimately, this heightened faith is a gift from God, a reminder that He is always with you, guiding you toward the blessings He has promised. When doors start closing in unexpected places, it can often feel disheartening or confusing, especially when those doors represent opportunities or paths that seem promising. However, this experience is a clear and significant sign that God is preparing you for a blessing. While at first glance it may seem like a setback or rejection, the closing of certain doors is actually a form of divine redirection, a way for God to protect you from paths that are not meant for you and to guide you toward opportunities that are more aligned with His purpose for your life. When a door closes unexpectedly, the initial reaction is often frustration or disappointment. You might question why something that seemed to be going well has suddenly come to an end. Whether it's a job opportunity that falls through, a relationship that ends, or a project that stalls, it's natural to feel a sense of loss. You might have invested time, energy, and hope into these endeavors, and when they don't work out, it's easy to become discouraged. But in these moments, it's important to remember that every closed door is not a failure, but rather a part of God's greater plan. God closes doors for several reasons. Sometimes the path you are on is not in alignment with His will for your life. While it may look appealing or promising in the short term, God sees the bigger picture. He knows what is ahead, both the blessings and the potential pitfalls. By closing certain doors, He is preventing you from walking into situations that could be harmful, draining, or simply not part of your purpose. In His wisdom, God redirects you away from these paths so that you can stay focused on the journey that will lead to your true calling and fulfillment. Another reason doors may close is that you have outgrown the situation you're in. Sometimes, without realizing it, you might be stuck in a place that no longer serves your growth. Whether it's a job that feels limiting, a relationship that is not nourishing your soul, or a routine that has become stagnant, God will close the door to push you out of your comfort zone. He knows that you are capable of more, and that staying in certain situations may prevent you from reaching your full potential. By closing the door, He is creating space for you to grow and move toward new opportunities that will challenge and stretch you in ways that lead to personal and spiritual growth. Additionally, doors close to teach you the power of trust and surrender. As human beings, we often cling to the familiar, even when it no longer serves us. We hold on to jobs, relationships, and situations because they feel safe, even if they are not fulfilling or aligned with our deepest desires. When a door closes unexpectedly, it forces you to release your grip on what is no longer working and to trust that God has something better in store. This process of surrender is essential for spiritual growth. It teaches you to let go of your need for control and to place your faith in God's plan, even when you can't see the full picture. One of the most profound lessons in life is learning that closed doors are not the end, they are the beginning of something new. When one door closes, it often leads to the opening of another, often more significant and aligned with your true purpose. These closed doors may feel like detours at first, but they are actually divine shortcuts. They save you from investing time and energy in pursuits that would ultimately lead you away from your destiny. By closing these doors, God is redirecting you toward the blessings that are meant for you, opportunities that will bring you greater joy, fulfillment, and success than you could have imagined. Another important aspect of doors closing is the timing. Often when a door closes, it is because the timing is not right for the blessing to manifest. You might be ready for the opportunity in your mind, but spiritually, emotionally, or practically, you are not fully prepared to handle the blessing. God uses closed doors as a way of delaying certain opportunities until the right time. This is not a punishment or a sign that you are unworthy, but rather an act of divine wisdom. God knows when you are truly ready to receive what He has prepared for you, and He will only open doors when the timing is perfect. In the same vein, the people and circumstances that you encounter during a closed door season are often crucial for your preparation. During this time, you may meet individuals who challenge you, teach you valuable lessons, or help you develop the skills needed for the next phase of your journey. You may encounter situations that test your patience, resilience, and faith. These experiences are all part of the preparation process. By closing certain doors, God creates space for these experiences to unfold, knowing that they are essential for your growth and readiness to receive the blessing that is coming. The process of doors closing also sharpens your discernment. When you experience a series of closed doors, you begin to develop a deeper sense of intuition and wisdom about which opportunities are truly meant for you. You start to recognize that not every opportunity that looks good on the surface is aligned with your purpose. This heightened sense of discernment allows you to be more selective and intentional about the paths you pursue. You learn to listen more closely to God's guidance, to pay attention to the signs, and to trust your inner knowing when a door is not for you. Moreover, closed doors often lead you to deeper spiritual breakthroughs. When a door closes, especially one you were hoping for, it can drive you to seek God more earnestly. In moments of uncertainty and confusion, you turn to prayer, reflection, and spiritual guidance, asking God for clarity and direction. These moments of seeking often lead to profound insights and revelations about your life, your purpose, and God's plan for you. The very process of navigating closed doors deepens your relationship with God, as you learn to rely on Him more fully and trust in His timing and wisdom. One of the most beautiful outcomes of doors closing is that they lead you to discover paths you might never have considered. Sometimes in your human planning and ambition, you set your sights on specific goals or dreams, not realizing that God has something even greater in store for you. The closing of doors can push you to explore new opportunities, new relationships, or new directions that you might not have pursued otherwise. These unexpected turns can lead to blessings and experiences far beyond what you originally envisioned. God's plan is often bigger and more expansive than anything you could have imagined, and closed doors are His way of guiding you toward those greater possibilities. The experience of doors closing is not about rejection but redirection. Each closed door is an act of divine guidance, steering you away from paths that are not aligned with your highest good and toward opportunities that are. While it may feel difficult in the moment, the closing of doors is a sign that God is actively working in your life, preparing you for the blessings that are to come. Through the process, you learn to trust in His timing, to surrender to His will, and to embrace the journey of growth and preparation. And when the right door finally opens, you will be ready to step into the fullness of the blessing that God has prepared for you. When you begin to feel uncomfortable or out of place in familiar situations, it can be an unsettling experience. Perhaps the job you once loved no longer excites you, or the social circle you've been part of for years starts to feel distant and disconnected. You may find yourself questioning your role, your sense of belonging, and even your purpose. This discomfort, though deeply unsettling, is often a powerful sign that God is preparing you for a significant blessing. Feeling out of place is a clear indication that you are being called to evolve, grow, and step into a new season of life. It's as if the life you've known no longer fits who you are becoming, and God is using that discomfort to push you out of your comfort zone. This feeling serves as a spiritual wake-up call, alerting you to the fact that the time has come for transformation. While it may seem like a season of unease, this discomfort is actually a sign that God is preparing to take you to new heights. One reason you may feel uncomfortable or out of place is that God is shifting your environment to align you with the next phase of your journey. Often before a blessing manifests, your surroundings or circumstances begin to change. The relationships, jobs, or routines that once felt comfortable may no longer serve the purpose God has for you. This is not because there's anything inherently wrong with those environments, but because you are growing and God is preparing to elevate you. Your spirit is outgrowing the space you are in, and the unease you feel is a sign that it's time to move into new territory. For example, imagine a plant that has been in the same pot for a long time. Over time, the plant's roots grow, and eventually the pot becomes too small to support its growth. If the plant is not repotted, its roots become bound, and it can no longer thrive. Similarly, when you experience discomfort in your current situation, it's a sign that you have outgrown your environment, and God is preparing to repot you into a space where you can continue to flourish. The discomfort is not a punishment, but an invitation to growth. Another aspect of feeling out of place is the internal transformation you are undergoing. Often when God is preparing you for a blessing, He works on your inner being, shifting your mindset, your heart, and your spirit. This internal growth can make your current external circumstances feel misaligned. What once resonated with you no longer does, because you are changing from the inside out. Your values, desires, and goals are evolving, and as a result, the life you've been living starts to feel like it doesn't fit anymore. This internal shift may cause you to feel disconnected from the people and situations you were once close to. You might find yourself pulling away from certain friendships or activities that no longer align with your new perspective. This sense of disconnect can feel lonely and confusing, but it's a necessary part of the process. God is creating space for new relationships, opportunities, and experiences that are more aligned with who you are becoming. The discomfort is a sign that you are being prepared for something greater, and God is removing what no longer serves your growth. During this time, it's essential to remember that feeling uncomfortable or out of place is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. On the contrary, it's a sign that you are exactly where you need to be. God often uses discomfort to propel you into action. If you were always comfortable, you would have little motivation to change or seek new opportunities. Discomfort is a divine nudge, encouraging you to step out in faith and pursue the next chapter of your life. It's a reminder that you are being prepared for something far greater than what you currently see. In addition, feeling out of place can be a sign that God is stretching your faith. When everything feels uncertain or unfamiliar, you are forced to rely more on God and less on your own understanding. You may not know exactly what's next or where you're headed, but this discomfort invites you to trust that God does. The more you lean into faith, the more you will begin to see how God is orchestrating everything for your good. He is guiding you toward a blessing that is beyond what you could have planned or imagined for yourself. During this season of discomfort, it's important to pay attention to the doors that God may be closing. Often when you feel out of place, it's because certain doors are closing in your life. These closed doors might look like friendships that drift apart, jobs that no longer feel fulfilling, or opportunities that seem to slip through your fingers. While it can be painful to see these doors close, it's essential to recognize that God is making room for something better. He is redirecting you away from what is no longer serving you and toward the blessings that are on the horizon. At the same time, the discomfort you feel might be a sign that you are being called to step into something new. God may be calling you to a higher purpose, a new role, or a deeper level of service. The feeling of being out of place is God's way of prompting you to explore new opportunities and to step into the unknown. It's an invitation to take risks, to pursue your passions, and to trust that God is leading you towards something extraordinary. While stepping into the unknown can be frightening, it's also where the most significant growth and blessings occur. Furthermore, feeling uncomfortable or out of place can also be a sign that God is working on your character. Before He can bless you with greater responsibility, influence, or abundance, He often refines your character to ensure that you are ready for what He has in store. This refining process can be uncomfortable, as it may involve letting go of old habits, mindsets, or behaviors that no longer serve your growth. You might feel stretched, challenged, or even tested during this time, but it's all part of God's preparation. He is shaping you into the person you need to be to handle the blessing that is coming. In this season of discomfort, it's crucial to embrace the process and trust that God is at work. While it may be tempting to try to force things to go back to the way they were or to cling to the familiar, doing so will only delay your growth. Instead, lean into the discomfort and allow it to guide you toward the new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that God is preparing for you. Remember that feeling out of place is not a sign that you are lost. It's a sign that you are lost. It's a sign that you are being led to something greater. Ultimately, the discomfort you feel is a sign that you are on the verge of a breakthrough. God is preparing to open doors that will lead to blessings beyond what you could have imagined. The discomfort is temporary, but the growth and blessings that come from it are lasting. Trust that God is with you every step of the way, guiding you, preparing you, and positioning you for the incredible blessings that are just around the corner. You may not feel comfortable now, but soon you will step into a season where everything aligns, and you will understand that every moment of discomfort was part of God's plan to prepare you for the amazing future He has in store for you. Feeling uncomfortable or out of place is often a powerful, yet subtle signal that change is on the horizon. It's as though the familiar world you've known, your routines, relationships, or even your sense of identity starts to feel misaligned. What once brought you comfort and security now stirs restlessness or unease. These feelings, while disorienting, can be profound indicators that God is preparing you for a new chapter, blessing, or shift in your life. What many interpret as anxiety or dissatisfaction is, in fact, a divine nudge urging you to move beyond your comfort zone. This sense of discomfort serves as an invitation from God to expand your understanding of yourself and your purpose. It's as if God is saying, you have outgrown where you are now, and it's time for something more. Instead of seeing this discomfort as a problem, it's essential to recognize it as a growth point, a moment when God is refining you for something greater. When you start to feel out of place, it's usually a sign that you are experiencing internal transformation. Your desires, values, and goals are evolving, and as a result, the life you once lived no longer seems to fit who you are becoming. The things that once brought you joy, contentment, or fulfillment may now seem trivial or irrelevant. This disconnect isn't necessarily because those things are bad, rather, it reflects the shift in who you are as you move into a new phase of spiritual or personal growth. What used to nourish your spirit might now feel empty, prompting you to seek something deeper, richer, and more aligned with your evolving self. This discomfort can manifest in various areas of life. For example, you might find yourself growing disinterested in your job, even if it once fulfilled you. It may become increasingly challenging to find meaning or satisfaction in your daily tasks. And no matter how hard you try, you can't shake the feeling that you're meant for something different. This can be a sign that God is preparing you for a new career path or a different vocation that aligns more closely with your spiritual purpose. The discomfort is not meant to make you miserable, but to alert you that change is coming and that God has something more significant in store for you. Another example of feeling uncomfortable is within relationships. You might feel as though your connection with certain friends, family members, or even romantic partners is no longer as strong as it once was. Conversations that used to flow naturally now feel forced, and you might feel emotionally distant from people who were once central to your life. This discomfort could signal that you are outgrowing those relationships, especially if they are no longer serving your growth. Sometimes God creates this distance to make room for new relationships, divine connections that will nurture the person you are becoming and support you in the next phase of your life. While it can be painful to let go of familiar bonds, this sense of being out of place can be a sign that God is preparing you for more meaningful relationships. This phase of discomfort often triggers deep self-reflection. You may start to ask yourself existential questions like, why am I here? What's my purpose? Or what do I really want in life? These questions arise because your spirit is outgrowing your current circumstances. What once felt comfortable and easy now feels confining because your soul is being called to something bigger. This process of self-inquiry can be challenging, especially if you don't have all the answers yet, but it's a necessary part of growth. God is stretching you, preparing your heart and mind for the blessings that are coming. But in order to receive them, you must be willing to leave behind the things that no longer align with your purpose. Often when you feel uncomfortable, it's because God is also shifting your priorities. Perhaps you once valued material success, but now you feel called to pursue something more meaningful or spiritually fulfilling. You may find that the things you once chased, money, status, recognition, no longer satisfy your soul. This discomfort is an indication that God is preparing you for a different path, one that aligns more closely with your spiritual values and long-term purpose. The discomfort serves as a signpost, pointing you away from what no longer serves you and towards something that will bring you true joy and fulfillment. This sense of discomfort or being out of place can also manifest as a deep inner restlessness. Even when everything seems to be going well on the outside, your career is stable, your relationships are intact, you might still feel an underlying sense of dissatisfaction. This inner tension is often God's way of indicating that you are meant for more. You may have reached a plateau in your life, and while things are stable, they are no longer challenging or exciting you. God uses this restlessness to stir your spirit, encouraging you to step into the unknown and trust that He has something greater in store for you. Another important aspect of feeling out of place is the emotional discomfort that comes with it. This could manifest as anxiety, frustration, or even sadness. You might feel like you're constantly waiting for something to happen or change, but you're not sure what that is. It can be a confusing and vulnerable place to be because it feels like you're standing in a threshold, one foot in the familiar, the other in the unknown. But this emotional discomfort is not something to fear. It's a powerful indicator that transformation is taking place beneath the surface. God is preparing your heart for the changes to come, and the emotions you are feeling are part of that preparation. In this season of discomfort, it's crucial to remember that you are not alone. God is with you every step of the way, guiding you even when you can't see the full picture. The discomfort is not meant to isolate you, but to draw you closer to Him. This is a time when you are being called to lean into your faith, trust that God has a plan, and know that the discomfort is temporary. The discomfort is not the destination, but part of the journey towards something greater. Sometimes feeling uncomfortable or out of place can also signify that God is protecting you. There may be situations or relationships that you are being moved away from because they no longer serve your highest good. The discomfort you feel could be God's way of removing you from environments that are not conducive to your growth or well-being. You may not understand it at the time, but in hindsight, you will likely see that God was clearing the path for your blessing by removing obstacles or distractions. This season of discomfort can also serve as a powerful test of faith. When you feel out of place, it can be tempting to cling to what is familiar, even if it no longer feels right. But this is where your faith comes in. Trusting in God's timing and plan requires you to let go of the need for immediate answers or solutions. It requires you to surrender to the process and believe that the discomfort you are feeling is part of a divine plan. God is not trying to punish you or make your life difficult. He is preparing you for a blessing, and that often requires discomfort, growth, and transformation. Feeling uncomfortable or out of place is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a powerful sign that you are in the process of transformation, and that God is preparing you for a new season of life. The unease you feel is a necessary part of the journey toward receiving the blessings that God has in store for you. Embrace the discomfort, trust the process, and know that this season of unease is leading you to a place of greater alignment, purpose, and fulfillment. God is at work, and the discomfort you feel now is simply the precursor to the abundant blessings that are on their way. In conclusion, the 7 signs that God is preparing you for a blessing reveal a deeper, transformative process at work in your life. Whether you're facing increased challenges, feeling called to let go of the past, encountering divine connections, or experiencing discomfort and doors closing, each of these signs points to a shift in your spiritual journey. The discomfort, the closed doors, the heightened faith, and the sense of being out of place are not signs of defeat, but rather powerful indicators that God is positioning you for something greater. When you feel tested, isolated, or uncertain, remember that these moments are often the most pivotal in your journey. God is stretching you, refining you, and preparing your heart and spirit to receive the blessings He has already planned for you. As you navigate these signs, the most important thing to hold on to is your faith and trust in God's timing. Embrace the process even when it feels uncomfortable, and know that each step is leading you toward a life of greater purpose, fulfillment, and divine blessing. What God has for you is on the way, and all of these signs are just part of the preparation for receiving it. Have you ever wondered how much of your reality is shaped not by the external world, but by the awareness you hold within? It's an intriguing question, one that invites us to look beyond the surface and into the depths of our consciousness. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 23:7, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." This verse reveals a profound truth, that our inner world, our thoughts, beliefs, and awareness has the power to mold and manifest the outer experiences of our lives. What if the secret to transforming your life isn't about changing your circumstances, but about awakening to a deeper understanding of who you truly are? Awareness is not just a passive state of being, it is a dynamic force that shapes your reality, moment by moment. When you realize that you are not a victim of fate, but a creator of your destiny, the world around you begins to change in miraculous ways. The power of awareness is the key to unlocking the door to your divine potential. It is the silent yet potent force that allows you to move from limitation to liberation, from struggle to serenity, and from fear to faith. Awareness is the conscious realization of your thoughts, feelings, and environment. It is the lens through which you perceive reality, shaping your experiences and interactions with the world around you. When you become aware of your thoughts, you hold the power to influence your destiny. As Proverbs 4:23 reminds us, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." Imagine your awareness as a garden. Each thought you nurture is like a seed sown into the soil of your consciousness. If you plant seeds of doubt and fear, they will flourish into a garden of negativity. Conversely, planting seeds of love, faith, and hope will cultivate a beautiful landscape of possibilities. Awareness allows you to choose which seeds to plant, determining the quality of the life you live. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to lose touch with our inner selves. Psalm 46:10 urges us to be still and know that I am God. This stillness is not merely the absence of noise, it is a sacred space where clarity and insight blossom. In stillness, we peel back the layers of distraction, allowing our true essence to emerge. Picture a calm lake reflecting the sky. When the water is disturbed, the reflection is unclear and fragmented. But when the lake is still, it mirrors the beauty of the heavens above. Similarly, in the stillness of your heart and mind, the divine within you can be reflected clearly in your life. It is in this serene space that you become aware of your thoughts and their incredible power to create. Imagination is the key that unlocks the door to your desired reality. As Neville Goddard often emphasizes, imagination creates reality. It is through the act of imagining that you can bring forth your dreams into existence, transforming your inner visions into tangible experiences. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible. He dreamt of greatness while imprisoned and faced with adversity. His imagination fueled his faith, allowing him to see beyond his current circumstances. When you harness the power of imagination, you ignite the spark of creativity within you, giving life to your aspirations. Allow yourself to visualize your desires as if they have already come to fruition. Feel the joy and excitement as though you are living your dream in this very moment. This act of imaginative creation is a powerful catalyst for transformation. Your awareness is not separate from the universe, it is intricately woven into the fabric of existence. As stated in John 10:9, "I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved." This passage symbolizes the interconnectedness of all beings and the importance of recognizing your place within this grand design. Imagine the universe as a vast ocean and your awareness as a drop of water within it. Each drop holds the essence of the entire ocean, just as your awareness contains the infinite possibilities of the universe. When you acknowledge this connection, you begin to understand that your thoughts and intentions ripple through the cosmos, influencing the lives of others and shaping your reality. Awareness empowers you to transcend the limitations that bind you. Often it is our own thoughts that imprison us, creating a narrative of defeat and despair. However, as Romans 12:2 reminds us, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This transformation begins with awareness. Visualize yourself standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down at the valley of limitations below. With awareness, you can choose to take a step back and recognize that these limitations are merely illusions. By shifting your perspective and embracing the truth of your potential, you can soar above your fears and doubts, discovering a life filled with boundless opportunities. Affirmations are powerful tools that reinforce positive beliefs and intentions. By consciously affirming the truth of who you are, you align your thoughts with the reality you wish to create. As Proverbs 18:21 states, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your words carry the weight of creation, shaping your experience with each spoken intention. Imagine standing before a mirror, looking deeply into your own eyes. With each affirmation, you are not just speaking words, you are declaring your divine identity and potential. I am worthy. I am loved. I am capable of achieving my dreams. Each affirmation becomes a stepping stone toward the manifestation of your desired reality, helping you to cultivate a mindset rooted in love and possibility. Fear often acts as a barrier, preventing us from fully embracing our potential. However, awareness allows us to confront these fears and understand their origins. In 1 John 4:18, we learn that there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. This profound truth invites us to choose love over fear in our thoughts and actions. Picture fear as a shadow lurking in the corners of your mind. When you shine the light of awareness on it, the shadow dissipates, revealing its illusory nature. By consciously choosing to release fear and embrace love, you create space for new possibilities to enter your life. Trust in the divine love that surrounds you and let it guide you toward freedom and fulfillment. Love is the highest frequency in the universe, and it is through love that we can truly connect with ourselves and others. Awareness of this divine love allows us to cultivate compassion, both for ourselves and for those around us. As we read in 1 Corinthians 13:4-7, love is patient, love is kind. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Envision love as a radiant light that fills your heart and extends outward. When you embrace love and compassion, you create a ripple effect, inspiring others to do the same. This powerful energy fosters connections that transcend boundaries, reminding us that we are all part of the same divine tapestry. Our thoughts are the architects of our reality, and awareness allows us to consciously choose which thoughts to entertain. In Philippians 4:8, we are encouraged to think on things that are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, and of good report. This call to elevate our thoughts invites us to recognize the transformative power of awareness. Imagine your mind as a garden filled with various plants. Some are beautiful flowers, while others are stubborn weeds. Through awareness, you gain the ability to prune away the weeds of negativity and self-doubt, allowing the flowers of positivity and hope to flourish. As you nurture uplifting thoughts, you cultivate a mindset that attracts abundance and joy. Ultimately, the power of awareness culminates in the manifestation of your reality. As you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your desires, you become a co-creator with the universe. James 1:17 reminds us that every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. This divine partnership is at the heart of manifestation. Visualize your desires as seeds planted in the fertile soil of your awareness. With each thought, affirmation, and action aligned with your dreams, you nurture these seeds, allowing them to take root and grow. Trust in the process, and remember that the universe is always conspiring in your favor. Embrace the transformative power of awareness and watch as your dreams unfold before you. Awareness is the magnificent light that illuminates the path of our existence, enabling us to understand the essence of our being and the world around us. It is not merely a passive observation of life, but an active engagement with the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that shape our reality. Awareness is the key to unlocking the vast potential within us, allowing us to recognize that we are not merely observers in this world, we are co-creators of our destinies. When we speak of awareness, we are delving into the realm of consciousness, the ability to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. It is the state of being cognizant of the narratives we tell ourselves, the beliefs we hold, and the emotions we experience. Awareness empowers us to take control of our inner landscape, steering the ship of our life with intention and purpose. It is the lens through which we perceive our experiences, shaping how we interpret and respond to the events that unfold. Imagine awareness as a powerful spotlight, illuminating the dark corners of your mind where limiting beliefs and negative thoughts reside. In the stillness of your consciousness, you can shine this light on the shadows that have held you captive, revealing the truth that lies beneath. Awareness allows you to question these shadows. Are these beliefs truly mine? Or have they been inherited from others? Do these thoughts serve my highest good, or do they hinder my progress? With this introspective gaze, you can begin to discern the thoughts that nourish your spirit from those that drain your energy. As you embark on this journey of self-discovery, it is essential to remember that awareness is a muscle that must be exercised regularly. Just as physical strength requires consistent effort and practice, cultivating awareness demands your attention and commitment. In moments of quiet reflection, you can tune into your thoughts and feelings, observing them without judgment. This practice of mindfulness creates a deeper connection to yourself, allowing you to navigate life with clarity and purpose. In Proverbs 4:23, we are reminded, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." This verse encapsulates the essence of awareness. Your heart, representing your thoughts and emotions, is the wellspring from which your life flows. When you nurture awareness, you safeguard this vital space, ensuring that only thoughts aligned with love, joy, and abundance take root. Each thought is a seed planted in the fertile ground of your heart, and it is your responsibility to cultivate a garden that reflects your highest aspirations. Consider the transformative power of awareness in your daily life. When you awaken to the power of your thoughts, you begin to see the world through a different lens. You notice how the stories you tell yourself influence your interactions, relationships, and experiences. If you believe that you are unworthy of love and success, your actions will mirror that belief. However, when you cultivate an awareness of your inherent worthiness, you will find that your reality begins to shift. Opportunities will arise, and you will attract the people and circumstances that align with your newfound belief. Awareness is also a gateway to understanding your connection with the universe. When you recognize that your thoughts and feelings are not isolated events but part of a larger tapestry of existence, you begin to appreciate the intricate dance of life. Every thought you hold sends ripples through the cosmos, influencing not only your reality but the realities of those around you. You become acutely aware of the interconnections that bind us all together, and this realization fosters a sense of unity and compassion. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean, gazing at the horizon. Each wave represents a thought, a feeling, or an intention that you send out into the universe. As you observe the waves crashing against the shore, you realize that they do not simply dissipate, they transform into something new, nourishing the sand and shaping the coastline. Your awareness acts as the lighthouse, guiding you to navigate the waters of your consciousness. By consciously choosing the waves you send forth, you become the architect of your reality. The journey of awareness also invites you to confront the fears and limitations that have held you back. Fear often thrives in the shadows, lurking in the recesses of our minds. However, when you shine the light of awareness on these fears, they lose their power over you. You begin to see them for what they are, illusions that can be dismantled with love and understanding. As you confront your fears with compassion, you can transform them into stepping stones that lead you toward growth and empowerment. Letting go of fear requires a deep sense of awareness. It involves recognizing that fear is often rooted in the past, in experiences that no longer serve you. Awareness allows you to release these burdens, freeing you to embrace the present moment. In doing so, you open yourself to the abundance of possibilities that life has to offer. The act of letting go is not a passive resignation, but an active choice to rise above the limitations of fear and step into the fullness of your potential. As you cultivate awareness, you also discover the profound impact of love in your life. Love is the most potent force in the universe, and when you anchor your awareness in love, you unlock the door to transformation. Love allows you to embrace your true self and extend that love to others, fostering deep connections and harmonious relationships. In this space of love, judgment and criticism fall away, replaced by compassion and understanding. In this journey of awareness, remember that you have the power to transform your thoughts and emotions at any moment. Each thought is an opportunity for creation, an invitation to manifest the reality you desire. You are not merely a passive participant in this dance of life, you are an active co-creator. As you become more aware of your thoughts and their influence, you can consciously choose to align them with the highest vision of yourself. Awareness is the gateway to a life filled with purpose, love, and abundance. It invites you to explore the depths of your consciousness, illuminating the path to your true self. By nurturing this awareness, you become the architect of your destiny, shaping your reality with intention and grace. Embrace the power of awareness and watch as your life transforms into a reflection of your innermost desires and dreams. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, the power of stillness serves as a sanctuary for the soul. To be still is to surrender the incessant noise of the mind and immerse oneself in the profound silence that lies within. Psalm 46:10 invites us into this sacred space. Be still and know that I am God. This divine command is not merely a suggestion, it is an invitation to experience the profound connection with the divine that exists in the stillness. In this quietude, we open ourselves to receive guidance, clarity, and the transformative power of awareness. The act of being still is a deliberate choice, a sacred practice that allows us to pause and turn our attention inward. In the hustle and bustle of life, it is easy to become swept away by the demands and distractions that surround us. However, when we intentionally carve out time for stillness, we create a fertile ground for awareness to flourish. In this sacred space, we find a refuge from the storms of external circumstances and reconnect with the essence of our being. Stillness is not synonymous with inactivity, rather, it is an active engagement with the present moment. It requires us to quiet the chatter of the mind and tune into the whispers of our soul. As we cultivate this stillness, we begin to perceive the world from a different perspective. We become acutely aware of the thoughts that arise, the emotions that surface, and the beliefs that shape our experiences. This heightened awareness allows us to observe our inner landscape without judgment, fostering a sense of compassion and understanding for ourselves. In the stillness, we can explore the depths of our consciousness. It is in this sacred space that we can confront the thoughts and beliefs that may have been holding us back. Just as a sculptor chisels away at a block of marble to reveal the masterpiece within, we can use stillness to carve away the layers of doubt, fear, and limitation that obscure our true selves. In this process of self-discovery, we unearth the divine potential that resides within us, recognizing that we are not defined by our past, but rather by the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. The importance of stillness can also be seen in the natural world. Consider the way nature operates, the cycles of day and night, the ebb and flow of tides, the changing of seasons. Each of these rhythms reflects a fundamental truth about life, that in order for growth and transformation to occur, there must be moments of rest and renewal. Just as the earth requires time to rejuvenate, so too do we need stillness to cultivate our inner garden. In the Bible, we often encounter the motif of retreating to stillness for communion with the divine. Jesus himself sought solitude to pray and reconnect with the Father, demonstrating the importance of stillness in cultivating a deep relationship with God. In those moments of quiet reflection, he found strength, clarity, and direction for his ministry. Similarly, we too can find solace and inspiration when we embrace the stillness in our lives. As we learn to be still, we also discover the transformative power of awareness that emerges from this sacred space. In the stillness, we become attuned to the subtle nudges of our intuition, guiding us toward the path that aligns with our highest good. The noise of the world fades away, allowing us to hear the gentle whispers of our heart. It is in these moments of clarity that we can discern our true desires and aspirations, unclouded by external influences or societal expectations. Moreover, being still invites us to let go of the need for control. In our quest for certainty, we often find ourselves clinging to thoughts and beliefs that do not serve us. However, when we surrender to the stillness, we open ourselves to the possibility of divine guidance. We learn to trust the process of life, knowing that everything unfolds in perfect timing. This relinquishing of control allows us to embrace the present moment fully, freeing us from the burdens of the past and the anxieties of the future. Stillness also serves as a catalyst for healing. In our fast-paced lives, we often neglect the emotional wounds and traumas that require our attention. When we create a space of stillness, we invite these emotions to surface, allowing us to process and release them. It is in the quietude that we can confront our fears, insecurities, and unresolved pain, transforming them into sources of strength and wisdom. As we navigate through these emotions, we cultivate compassion for ourselves, recognizing that healing is a journey, not a destination. In this process of healing, we can draw upon the wisdom of Scripture. In Psalm 56:10 we read, "In God will I praise His word, in the Lord will I praise His word." This verse emphasizes the importance of grounding ourselves in faith, even amidst uncertainty. When we take time to be still, we can reflect on the promises found in Scripture, allowing them to resonate within us. The stillness becomes a sacred space for communion with God, where we can seek guidance, clarity, and comfort. As we continue to cultivate stillness in our lives, we must also acknowledge the impact it has on our relationships with others. In a world that often promotes busyness and distraction, our ability to be present with those we love becomes a powerful gift. When we practice stillness, we learn to listen deeply, to hear the unspoken words and emotions of those around us. This presence fosters deeper connections and understanding, allowing us to create a space of love and compassion in our relationships. Stillness is a transformative practice that invites us to explore the depths of our awareness. It is a sanctuary where we can confront our inner landscape, heal emotional wounds, and reconnect with the divine. As we embrace the power of stillness, we cultivate a deeper relationship with ourselves, others, and God. In the quietude, we find the strength to overcome limitations, the clarity to manifest our desires, and the love to nurture our relationships. Let us heed the call of Psalm 46:10 and be still, for it is in this sacred space that we will truly know the essence of our being and the infinite possibilities that lie within us. Imagination is a divine gift that resides within each of us, a creative force that transcends the boundaries of our physical reality. It is the canvas upon which we paint the visions of our desires and aspirations, shaping the life we wish to experience. To understand the power of imagination is to unlock the door to transformation, enabling us to transcend limitations and manifest the reality we envision. As we delve into this wondrous realm, we come to recognize that imagination is not merely a fanciful escape, but a potent tool for creation and change. At its core, imagination is the ability to conceive of possibilities beyond our current circumstances. It allows us to envision a future that aligns with our deepest desires, fueling our aspirations and dreams. In this process, we engage with the creative forces of the universe, tapping into the limitless potential that resides within us. When we imagine, we are not confined by the constraints of our present reality. Instead, we step into a space where anything is possible. This expansive mindset fosters hope, inspiring us to pursue our goals with passion and conviction. The biblical narrative provides profound insights into the significance of imagination. In Genesis, we learn that we are created in the image of God, who spoke the world into existence through His divine imagination. Just as He imagined and manifested the beauty of creation, we too possess the capacity to bring forth our desires through the power of our thoughts and beliefs. In this way, imagination becomes a reflection of our divine heritage, a sacred ability to create and shape our reality. When we engage our imagination, we open ourselves to the possibilities of what can be. Imagine the life you desire, the relationships you wish to nurture, the career you aspire to build, the dreams you long to fulfill. Each time you envision this ideal life, you are planting seeds of intention in the fertile soil of your mind. The more vividly you imagine these scenarios, the more real they become, drawing them closer to manifestation. As we align our thoughts with the frequency of our desires, we invite the universe to conspire in our favor, bringing our visions into physical form. Moreover, imagination allows us to transcend the limitations that often bind us. In a world that frequently imposes constraints and challenges, it is all too easy to succumb to the belief that our circumstances define our potential. However, when we engage our imagination, we shatter these limiting beliefs, stepping into a realm of infinite possibilities. We begin to realize that we are not merely products of our environment, we are active participants in the co-creation of our lives. By envisioning ourselves as capable, worthy, and deserving of our dreams, we dismantle the barriers that have held us back. Consider the story of the Israelites in the wilderness. They were called to enter the promised land, the land flowing with milk and honey. Yet, despite the abundant blessings awaiting them, they hesitated, allowing fear and doubt to cloud their vision. It was their lack of imagination that kept them trapped in a cycle of mediocrity. In contrast, when we dare to envision the promised land of our own lives, we cultivate the courage to step beyond our comfort zones, embracing the journey of growth and transformation. Imagination also serves as a bridge to our inner wisdom and intuition. When we quiet the noise of the external world and turn inward, we tap into the wellspring of creativity that lies within us. In these moments of stillness, we can ask ourselves questions that ignite our imagination. What do I truly desire? What would my life look like if I released all fear and limitation? What gifts and talents do I possess that can be shared with the world? By engaging with these questions, we invite our imagination to reveal the answers, guiding us toward a life that resonates with our authentic selves. In this journey of imagination, it is crucial to embrace the power of affirmations. Affirmations are statements of truth that reinforce our beliefs and intentions. When paired with the vivid imagery of our imagination, they become powerful catalysts for change. By affirming our desires and visualizing them in our minds, we align our subconscious with our conscious intentions. This alignment creates a magnetic force that draws our desires into our reality. The process of imagination and affirmation work hand in hand, amplifying our creative power and bringing us closer to our dreams. As we engage our imagination, it is essential to recognize the role of love in this creative process. Love is the foundation upon which we build our dreams. When we imagine from a place of love and compassion, we create visions that uplift not only ourselves but also those around us. Love infuses our desires with purpose and intention, allowing us to manifest not just for our own benefit but for the greater good of all. In this way, imagination becomes a vehicle for service, enabling us to share our gifts and talents with the world. Let us also reflect on the transformative power of imagination in the face of adversity. Life is not without its challenges, and we may encounter obstacles that test our resolve. In these moments, imagination serves as a source of strength and resilience. By envisioning ourselves overcoming difficulties and emerging victorious, we empower ourselves to navigate the storms of life with grace and courage. When we can imagine a brighter future, we are more likely to take the steps necessary to bring that vision to fruition, even in the face of uncertainty. Imagination is a divine gift that holds the key to our transformation and manifestation. It allows us to transcend limitations, envision our dreams, and create the life we desire. By tapping into the power of imagination, we connect with our divine essence, reflecting the creative energy of the universe. As we engage our imagination with love and intention, we become co-creators of our reality, shaping our lives in alignment with our highest aspirations. Let us embrace the power of imagination, knowing that it is through this sacred practice that we can unlock the doors to infinite possibilities and manifest the lives we were meant to live. The concept of connection to the universe is a profound realization that goes beyond the physical realm. It invites us into a deeper understanding of our place within the grand tapestry of existence. We are not isolated beings wandering aimlessly through life. Rather, we are integral parts of a magnificent cosmic symphony, intricately woven into the fabric of reality. When we embrace this connection, we unlock the door to profound awareness, recognizing that the universe is not separate from us, but is a reflection of our innermost thoughts, beliefs, and desires. At the core of this connection lies the understanding that we are energy beings, vibrating at unique frequencies that resonate with the energy of the universe. Everything around us, from the smallest pebble to the vastness of the cosmos, is composed of energy. This energy flows and ebbs, creating a dynamic interplay of forces that shapes our experiences. When we become aware of our energetic nature, we begin to understand that our thoughts and emotions send ripples through the universe, influencing the world around us in ways we may not yet comprehend. The biblical narrative offers a powerful insight into this connection. In Acts 17:28 we read, "For in him we live and move and have our being." This verse encapsulates the essence of our interconnectedness with the divine and the universe. We are not separate entities, but rather expressions of the divine presence that flows through all of creation. When we acknowledge this truth, we begin to see ourselves as co-creators with God, participating in the unfolding of the universe and its limitless possibilities. This connection to the universe empowers us to recognize that our experiences are not random occurrences, but rather reflections of our inner state. When we cultivate a mindset of awareness, we become attuned to the signs and synchronicities that the universe presents to us. These moments of divine orchestration remind us that we are supported on our journey and that the universe is conspiring in our favor. By staying open to these signs, we can navigate our lives with a sense of purpose and direction, trusting that we are always guided toward our highest good. Embracing our connection to the universe also invites us to recognize the power of intention. When we set intentions, we send forth vibrations that resonate with the universe, aligning our desires with the universal flow of energy. The act of intending is not merely a wishful thought, it is a declaration of our commitment to manifest our desires. In this way, our intentions become powerful catalysts for transformation, enabling us to draw experiences, people, and opportunities into our lives that align with our highest aspirations. Moreover, our connection to the universe allows us to tap into the wellspring of creativity that resides within us. Just as the universe continuously creates and evolves, we too possess the innate ability to generate new ideas, solutions, and expressions. When we align ourselves with the universal flow, we can access inspiration and insights that guide us on our creative journeys. This creative energy is not limited to artistic pursuits, it permeates every aspect of our lives, from problem solving in our careers to nurturing relationships. By fostering this connection, we become conduits of divine creativity, allowing the universe to flow through us. As we deepen our connection to the universe, we also cultivate a sense of gratitude for the abundance that surrounds us. Gratitude opens our hearts and minds, inviting us to recognize the gifts that the universe offers in every moment. In 1 Thessalonians 5:18, we are reminded to give thanks in all circumstances. This practice of gratitude aligns us with the frequency of abundance, attracting even more blessings into our lives. When we appreciate the beauty of the present moment, we enhance our connection to the universe, experiencing a sense of fulfillment that transcends material possessions. Furthermore, our connection to the universe invites us to embrace the idea of surrender. Surrendering does not imply weakness, rather, it is an act of trust in the divine order of life. When we let go of the need to control every aspect of our existence, we open ourselves to the possibilities that the universe presents. In moments of surrender, we invite the universe to guide us, allowing the flow of life to carry us toward our highest good. This practice of surrender fosters a sense of peace and acceptance, enabling us to navigate challenges with grace and resilience. It is essential to recognize that this connection to the universe is not a one-way street, it is a reciprocal relationship. Just as we draw from the universe, we also contribute to it through our thoughts, actions, and intentions. Each thought we entertain and each action we take sends ripples through the cosmic fabric, influencing the collective consciousness. When we choose to embody love, compassion, and positivity, we elevate the vibrational frequency of the universe. This interconnectedness highlights the importance of personal responsibility in our journeys, reminding us that our individual choices have the power to impact the world around us. As we explore our connection to the universe, we also come to understand the significance of mindfulness. Mindfulness allows us to be fully present in the moment, heightening our awareness of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. This practice invites us to observe the interplay between our inner world and the external reality, enabling us to make conscious choices that align with our desires. When we approach life with mindfulness, we cultivate a deeper connection to the universe, recognizing the sacredness of each moment and the opportunities it presents. Let us not forget the role of community in nurturing our connection to the universe. We are all interconnected, part of a larger web of existence. As we engage with others, we can share our insights, inspirations, and experiences, enriching our collective understanding of the universe. In moments of connection and collaboration, we amplify our creative potential, harnessing the power of the group consciousness. Together we can elevate our awareness and explore the infinite possibilities that arise when we unite our energies. Our connection to the universe is a profound reality that invites us to recognize our place within the cosmic tapestry of existence. By embracing this connection, we unlock the transformative power of awareness, allowing us to navigate our lives with purpose and intention. As we acknowledge our role as co-creators, we cultivate the ability to manifest our desires and tap into the wellspring of creativity that resides within us. Let us remember that we are not isolated beings, we are vibrant expressions of the divine, interconnected with the universe and each other. In this sacred dance of existence, we have the power to shape our realities, elevate our consciousness, and contribute to the greater good of all. Let us honor this connection, knowing that as we align with the universe, we unlock the infinite potential that lies within us and around us. Overcoming limitations is a vital aspect of our journey towards self-actualization and fulfillment. It involves recognizing and dismantling the barriers, whether they are mental, emotional, or circumstantial, that hinder our ability to manifest the lives we desire. Often these limitations are self-imposed, stemming from fears, doubts, and beliefs that have taken root within us over time. To transcend these boundaries is to reclaim our power and embrace the infinite possibilities that await us. The first step in overcoming limitations is awareness. It is essential to become conscious of the thoughts and beliefs that shape our perceptions of ourselves and the world. Many of us carry narratives that tell us we are not enough, that our dreams are unattainable, or that we are bound by the limitations imposed by society or our circumstances. These stories can be deeply ingrained, often stemming from past experiences or negative feedback from others. However, it is crucial to recognize that these narratives are not absolute truths. They are simply beliefs we have chosen to adopt. To challenge these limiting beliefs, we must first confront them. This requires courage and honesty, as we delve into the depths of our subconscious to uncover the thoughts that hold us back. When we shine the light of awareness on these beliefs, we create an opportunity for transformation. As the Bible states in John 8:32, "And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." The truth we seek lies in the understanding that we are not defined by our past or our perceived limitations. Instead, we are defined by our potential to grow, evolve, and transcend. Once we have identified our limiting beliefs, the next step is to reframe them. This process involves transforming negative thoughts into empowering affirmations. For instance, if you have long believed that you are not capable of achieving your goals, you can shift that narrative by affirming, "I am capable of achieving my goals. I have the strength and creativity to overcome any challenge." This reframing is not merely wishful thinking, it is a powerful practice that reshapes our internal dialogue, aligning our thoughts with our highest aspirations. The biblical narrative is replete with examples of individuals who overcame tremendous limitations through faith and belief. Consider the story of David and Goliath. David, a young shepherd boy, faced a giant warrior who instilled fear in the hearts of the Israelites. Yet David did not succumb to the limitations imposed by his size or lack of experience. Instead, he relied on his faith and the belief in his own capabilities. By confronting Goliath with nothing but a sling and a few stones, he demonstrated that limitations are often mere illusions that can be shattered through courage and conviction. David's victory over Goliath is a timeless reminder that our perceived limitations can be overcome when we harness our faith and belief in ourselves. As we reframe our beliefs, it is essential to cultivate a mindset of possibility. This means embracing the idea that our limitations do not define us, rather, they are challenges that can be transformed into opportunities for growth. When we adopt a mindset of possibility, we begin to see obstacles as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Each challenge becomes an invitation to stretch our boundaries, learn, and evolve. Moreover, our imagination plays a pivotal role in overcoming limitations. When we allow ourselves to envision a life free from constraints, we tap into the creative forces of the universe. Imagination empowers us to see beyond our current circumstances, enabling us to visualize the life we desire. As we immerse ourselves in this vision, we align our energy with the frequency of our dreams, drawing them closer to manifestation. The act of imagining a life without limitations ignites the spark of possibility within us, prompting us to take inspired action toward our goals. In addition to imagination, we must also embrace the power of resilience. Life will inevitably present challenges, but it is our response to those challenges that determines our ability to overcome limitations. Resilience is the capacity to bounce back from setbacks, to view failures as valuable lessons, and to persist in the face of adversity. Just as the phoenix rises from the ashes, we too have the ability to rise stronger and more empowered after each challenge we encounter. As we cultivate resilience, we learn to trust in our capacity to overcome. We understand that setbacks are not the end of our journey, they are part of the process of growth. This perspective shift allows us to approach challenges with curiosity rather than fear, empowering us to explore new avenues and solutions. The Bible reminds us in Philippians 4:13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." This powerful affirmation reinforces our ability to overcome any limitation when we tap into the strength and support that lies within and around us. Additionally, seeking support from others can be instrumental in overcoming limitations. We are not meant to navigate our journeys alone. Surrounding ourselves with a supportive community fosters an environment of encouragement and accountability. Sharing our dreams and challenges with trusted friends, mentors, or family members can provide valuable insights and perspectives that help us break through our limitations. When we lift each other up, we create a collective energy that propels us forward, reminding us that we are stronger together. Furthermore, as we embark on the journey of overcoming limitations, it is essential to cultivate self-compassion. Many of us are our harshest critics, internalizing feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. However, self-compassion invites us to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. It encourages us to acknowledge our struggles without judgment, creating space for healing and growth. When we practice self-compassion, we build resilience and foster a positive relationship with ourselves, empowering us to take risks and pursue our dreams. Overcoming limitations is a transformative journey that requires awareness, courage, and intention. By identifying and reframing our limiting beliefs, cultivating a mindset of possibility, and harnessing the power of imagination, we can transcend the barriers that hold us back. Our connection to the divine reminds us that we are not defined by our past or our circumstances. We are powerful creators capable of shaping our realities. Through resilience, support, and self-compassion, we can embrace our inherent potential and overcome any limitations that arise. As we embark on this journey, let us remember that the only limits that exist are those we impose upon ourselves. When we dare to dream, to imagine, and to take action, we unlock the infinite possibilities that await us, stepping boldly into the lives we were destined to live. The power of affirmations is a transformative practice that can profoundly impact our lives when harnessed effectively. At its core, an affirmation is a positive declaration or statement that reinforces our beliefs, thoughts, and intentions. This simple yet powerful tool has the potential to reshape our reality by aligning our subconscious mind with our conscious desires. When we engage in the practice of affirmations, we tap into the infinite creative power of our thoughts, enabling us to manifest our deepest aspirations and live a life of abundance and fulfillment. To understand the true power of affirmations, we must first recognize the profound influence our thoughts have on our experiences. Our thoughts are not merely fleeting notions, they are the seeds we plant in the fertile soil of our subconscious mind. As these seeds germinate and grow, they shape our beliefs, emotions, and ultimately our reality. The Bible reminds us of this truth in Proverbs 23:7, which states, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." This verse highlights the connection between our inner thoughts and our outer experiences, underscoring the importance of cultivating a mindset that aligns with our desires. When we consciously choose to incorporate affirmations into our daily routines, we initiate a powerful process of reprogramming our subconscious mind. Many of us carry limiting beliefs and negative self-talk that stem from past experiences, societal conditioning, or external influences. These beliefs often manifest as doubts and fears, preventing us from pursuing our goals and dreams. Affirmations serve as a counterforce to these negative narratives, allowing us to replace self-defeating thoughts with empowering declarations that uplift and inspire us. For instance, consider the affirmation, "I am worthy of love and success." This simple statement serves as a reminder of our inherent value and potential. When we repeat this affirmation consistently, we begin to internalize its truth. Over time, it replaces the narrative that we are unworthy or undeserving, creating space for new opportunities and experiences to flow into our lives. By affirming our worthiness, we open ourselves to receiving the love, success, and abundance that the universe has to offer. To maximize the effectiveness of affirmations, it is essential to infuse them with emotion and conviction. The energy we bring to our affirmations amplifies their power. When we repeat affirmations with genuine belief and enthusiasm, we send out vibrations that resonate with the universe, attracting experiences that align with our declarations. This emotional component is critical because the universe responds to the energy we emit. As we embrace our affirmations with passion and faith, we align our vibrational frequency with our desires, making it easier for them to manifest. Incorporating affirmations into our daily routines can take various forms. Some individuals choose to write their affirmations in a journal, while others prefer to recite them aloud in front of a mirror. Visualization is another powerful technique that can enhance the effectiveness of affirmations. When we visualize ourselves embodying the qualities and experiences we desire, we create a mental image that reinforces our affirmations. This practice aligns our subconscious mind with our conscious intentions, fostering a sense of certainty and belief in our abilities to achieve our goals. The biblical narrative provides us with numerous examples of the power of spoken words and declarations. In Genesis 1, we see the Creator speaking the universe into existence. "Let there be light," and there was light. This profound act of creation illustrates the immense power of words to shape reality. Just as the Creator used words to bring forth life and light, we too can harness the power of our spoken words to create and manifest our desires. Our affirmations become the creative expressions of our intentions, empowering us to shape our experiences. Another powerful biblical example of affirmations can be found in the life of Jesus. Throughout his ministry, he often spoke affirmatively about his mission, saying, "I am the light of the world," John 8:12, and "I am the way, the truth, and the life," John 14:6. These declarations not only affirmed his identity but also served to inspire and uplift those around him. When we adopt a similar approach in our lives, we empower ourselves and those around us to recognize the truth of our shared divinity and potential. It is crucial to remember that affirmations are not mere wishful thinking, they require action and commitment. While affirmations set the foundation for our intentions, it is our choices and actions that ultimately bring those intentions to fruition. As we affirm our desires, we must also be willing to take inspired steps toward achieving them. This means aligning our actions with our affirmations and making choices that reflect our newfound beliefs. When we combine affirmations with deliberate action, we create a powerful synergy that propels us toward our goals. Moreover, the practice of affirmations encourages us to cultivate a positive mindset. In a world often filled with negativity and challenges, affirmations serve as a beacon of light, guiding us toward optimism and hope. By focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, we train our minds to seek out opportunities rather than obstacles. This shift in perspective allows us to approach challenges with resilience and creativity, enabling us to navigate life's uncertainties with grace. As we continue to engage in the practice of affirmations, it is essential to remain patient and persistent. Change does not happen overnight, it requires dedication and consistency. Just as a gardener must nurture and care for their plants to see them thrive, we must cultivate our affirmations with love and intention. Over time, As we remain committed to our practice, we will begin to witness the fruits of our labor, new opportunities, positive changes, and a deep sense of fulfillment. In addition to personal affirmations, we can also harness the collective power of affirmations within our communities. When we come together in shared intention, our combined energy amplifies the impact of our declarations. This communal approach fosters a sense of connection and support, allowing us to uplift one another as we pursue our individual and collective dreams. By affirming each other's worth, potential, and successes, we create an environment that nurtures growth and transformation. As we embrace the transformative power of affirmations, let us also remember the importance of gratitude. Gratitude serves as a powerful companion to affirmations, enhancing their effectiveness and aligning us with the energy of abundance. When we express gratitude for what we have and for the manifestations that are yet to come, we open ourselves to receiving even more blessings. In Philippians 4:6-7, we are reminded to present our requests with thanksgiving, knowing that gratitude paves the way for peace and abundance in our lives. The power of affirmations is a profound and transformative practice that can reshape our lives in remarkable ways. By consciously choosing to declare positive truths about ourselves and our desires, we tap into the creative forces of the universe, aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions with our intentions. Through the practice of affirmations, we can overcome limiting beliefs, cultivate a positive mindset, and manifest the lives we desire. Let us embrace this powerful tool with conviction and passion, knowing that our words hold the potential to create the reality we envision. As we affirm our worthiness, capabilities, and dreams, we unlock the door to a life of abundance, fulfillment, and joy, stepping boldly into the lives we were meant to lead. Letting go of fear is one of the most liberating and transformative journeys we can undertake in our lives. Fear often acts as a formidable barrier, keeping us from accessing our true potential and embracing the fullness of our existence. It can immobilize us, cloud our judgment, and distort our perception of reality, making it challenging to pursue our dreams and desires. However, when we learn to recognize fear for what it is, a mental construct that often exists only in our minds, we can take the crucial steps toward releasing it and stepping into a life of courage, love, and possibility. Fear has a way of creeping into our lives, often disguised as rationality or caution. It whispers in our ears, convincing us that we are not enough, that we will fail, or that we should play it safe. These narratives can be deeply ingrained, stemming from past experiences, societal conditioning, or the influence of those around us. In the face of such pervasive thoughts, we may find ourselves living in a state of self-imposed limitation, allowing fear to dictate our actions and responses. Yet, as we navigate the landscape of our minds, we must remember that fear is not an inherent part of who we are. It is an emotion we can choose to acknowledge and ultimately release. In Isaiah 41:10, we are reminded, "Fear not, for I am with you, be not dismayed, for I am your God, I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This scripture serves as a powerful affirmation that we are not alone in our struggles, and that divine support is always available to guide us through our fears. To let go of fear, we must first confront it. This involves acknowledging the fears that arise within us, whether they are fears of failure, rejection, loss, or the unknown. Rather than allowing these fears to linger in the shadows, we can bring them into the light of awareness. When we examine our fears closely, we often realize that they are based on assumptions, misinterpretations, or exaggerated possibilities. By understanding the source of our fears, we can begin to dismantle their hold on us. One powerful method for releasing fear is through the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness invites us to become present in the moment, allowing us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we create a space between ourselves and our fears, enabling us to respond rather than react. In this state of awareness, we can recognize that fear is merely a thought, and we have the power to choose how we engage with it. Instead of succumbing to fear, we can shift our focus toward our desires, aspirations, and the life we wish to create. Visualization is another potent technique for letting go of fear. When we visualize ourselves confronting our fears and emerging victorious, we activate the power of our imagination to reshape our reality. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a cliff, peering down at the vast expanse below. In that moment, you can choose to either step back in fear or take a leap of faith. When you visualize taking that leap, imagine the exhilaration of soaring through the air, feeling the wind beneath your wings. This practice reinforces the belief that you can transcend your fears and embrace the opportunities that lie ahead. Letting go of fear also involves cultivating self-compassion and self-love. Fear often stems from a place of insecurity and self-doubt, which can be countered by embracing our inherent worthiness. In 1 John 4:18, we are reminded that there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. As we cultivate a loving relationship with ourselves, we can dismantle the negative self-talk that fuels our fears. Affirmations such as "I am enough, I am worthy of love and success, and I trust in the divine timing of my life" become powerful declarations that counteract the voice of fear. Moreover, it is essential to recognize that fear can serve as a valuable teacher. Instead of viewing fear solely as a negative force, we can shift our perspective and see it as an opportunity for growth. Fear often signals areas in our lives that require attention, healing, or transformation. When we encounter fear, we can ask ourselves what it is trying to teach us. What is the underlying message behind this fear? By reframing our relationship with fear, we can turn it into a catalyst for self-discovery and personal development. As we let go of fear, we create space for love and possibility to flourish. Fear is a constricting force that keeps us in a limited mindset, while love expands our horizons and invites us to dream bigger. In Romans 8:15, we are reminded that we have not received a spirit of fear, but of adoption as children of God. This powerful affirmation reminds us of our divine heritage and the unconditional love that surrounds us. When we embrace our identity as beloved children of the divine, we can confidently step into our power and pursue our dreams. To actively release fear, we can also engage in practices that promote healing and self-awareness. Journaling, meditation, and breath work are powerful tools that allow us to process our emotions and connect with our inner selves. In these moments of reflection, we can identify the fears that hold us back and take intentional steps to release them. For instance, we can write down our fears, acknowledge them, and then write counter-affirmations that reflect our desired state of being. This practice reinforces the idea that we are in control of our thoughts and that we have the power to choose how we respond to fear. It is essential to surround ourselves with a supportive community that encourages our growth and healing. Sharing our fears with trusted friends or mentors can provide valuable perspective and insights. Often we find that others have faced similar fears, and their experiences can inspire us to confront our own. Together we can create an environment of love and support, fostering resilience and courage in the face of adversity. As we embark on the journey of letting go of fear, we must also embrace the concept of surrender. Surrendering does not mean giving up, rather, it is an act of trust in the divine flow of life. In Philippians 4:6-7, we are encouraged to not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. When we surrender our fears to the divine, we open ourselves to the guidance and wisdom that flows from a higher source. This surrender allows us to release the need for control and embrace the uncertainty of life with grace. It is essential to celebrate our progress and victories along the way. Each step we take toward releasing fear is a testament to our courage and resilience. By acknowledging our growth, we reinforce the belief that we are capable of overcoming obstacles and pursuing our dreams. As we continue on this journey, we will find that fear loses its power over us, and we emerge as stronger, more empowered individuals. Letting go of fear is a transformative process that allows us to step into our true potential. By acknowledging, confronting, and releasing our fears, we create space for love, possibility, and growth. Through mindfulness, visualization, self-compassion, and surrender, we can dismantle the barriers that fear imposes on our lives. As we embrace our inherent worthiness and trust in the divine flow of life, we unlock the door to a world filled with opportunities and fulfillment. Remember that fear is not our enemy, it is a teacher that guides us towards self-discovery and growth. Let us embark on this journey of letting go, knowing that love and courage will illuminate our path forward. Embracing love and compassion is a powerful journey that transforms our lives and the lives of those around us. Love is often considered the highest frequency in the universe, a force that transcends all boundaries and limitations. It has the power to heal, uplift, and inspire, allowing us to connect deeply with ourselves and others. When we open our hearts to love, we tap into an infinite source of strength and creativity that can reshape our reality and manifest our deepest desires. To fully embrace love, we must first understand its true nature. Love is not merely an emotion or a fleeting feeling, it is a state of being, a way of perceiving the world around us. In 1 John 4:8, we learn that God is love. This profound statement reminds us that love is the essence of our divine nature. When we align ourselves with this truth, we begin to see that love is not something to be sought externally, but is already present within us, waiting to be expressed and shared. One of the most significant barriers to love is the fear of vulnerability. Many people hesitate to open their hearts to others because they fear rejection, judgment, or pain. However, it is essential to recognize that vulnerability is not a weakness but a strength. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create authentic connections and cultivate deeper relationships. Vulnerability invites intimacy, enabling us to share our true selves without pretense. In doing so, we create a safe space for love to flourish. To embrace love fully, we must also learn to love ourselves. Self-love is the foundation upon which all other love is built. When we cultivate a loving relationship with ourselves, we begin to radiate that love outward. This involves acknowledging our worthiness, celebrating our unique qualities, and practicing self-compassion. In Ephesians 5:29, we are reminded, "For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it." By nurturing ourselves with kindness and understanding, we can overcome the self-doubt and negativity that often hinder our ability to love fully. As we deepen our self-love, we can extend that love to others. Compassion is an essential aspect of love, allowing us to empathize with the struggles and experiences of those around us. When we approach others with compassion, we create a ripple effect of kindness and understanding. In Colossians 3:12, we are encouraged to put on compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. By embodying these qualities, we become beacons of love in a world that often feels disconnected and chaotic. The practice of compassion also involves letting go of judgment and criticism. It is all too easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others or making snap judgments about their actions and choices. However, when we recognize that everyone is on their unique journey, we can release our need to judge and instead offer support and understanding. Compassion allows us to see the divine essence in others, even when they may be struggling. This perspective shift transforms our relationships and opens the door to deeper connections. Moreover, love and compassion have the power to heal past wounds and foster forgiveness. Holding on to grudges and resentments can create barriers that prevent love from flowing freely in our lives. Forgiveness is a profound act of love that liberates us from the chains of anger and bitterness. In Matthew 6:14-15, we are reminded of the importance of forgiveness, for if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. By choosing to forgive, we release ourselves from the burden of past hurts and create space for love to flourish. One powerful way to embrace love is through the practice of gratitude. When we cultivate an attitude of gratitude, we shift our focus from what is lacking in our lives to what we already have. This shift in perspective opens our hearts and minds to the abundance that surrounds us. In 1 Thessalonians 5:18, we are encouraged to give thanks in all circumstances. By expressing gratitude for the blessings in our lives, we invite more love and joy into our experiences. Additionally, love can be expressed through acts of service. When we serve others selflessly, we demonstrate love in action. Acts of kindness, whether small or significant, can create a profound impact on those around us. In Galatians 5:13, we are called to serve one another humbly in love by engaging in service. We not only uplift others, but also enrich our own lives with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. The journey of embracing love and compassion is also about developing a deeper connection with the universe and recognizing our interconnectedness. Love is a unifying force that transcends time and space, reminding us that we are all part of a greater whole. In John 15:12-13, we are instructed to love one another. As I have loved you, this call to love extends beyond our immediate circles. It encompasses humanity as a whole. By cultivating a sense of belonging and connection with others, we can amplify the power of love in the world. As we navigate this journey, it is essential to surround ourselves with people who inspire and uplift us. When we are in the presence of those who embody love and compassion, we are encouraged to grow and expand our capacity for love. Relationships that nurture our spirits and encourage us to be our best selves are vital for our emotional and spiritual well-being. This sense of community fosters an environment where love can flourish, creating a supportive network that uplifts us in times of need. Furthermore, embracing love involves embracing our unique gifts and talents. Each of us has something special to offer the world, and when we share our gifts with love, we contribute to the collective tapestry of humanity. In 1 Peter 4:10, we are reminded to use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. By recognizing and sharing our gifts, we not only honor ourselves but also empower others to do the same. As we continue on the path of love and compassion, it is essential to remain open to learning and growth. The journey of embracing love is not a destination but a lifelong practice. We will encounter challenges and moments of resistance, but each obstacle is an opportunity for growth. By approaching these challenges with love and compassion, we can transform them into stepping stones that lead us to deeper understanding and connection. Embracing love and compassion is a transformative journey that enriches our lives and the lives of others. By recognizing the divine essence of love within us, cultivating self-love, practicing compassion, and letting go of judgment, we open ourselves to a world of possibility and connection. Love is the force that heals, uplifts, and inspires, reminding us of our shared humanity and interconnectedness. As we embrace love and compassion, we create a ripple effect that spreads joy, healing, and hope throughout the universe. Let us step boldly into this journey, knowing that as we open our hearts, we unlock the transformative power of love in our lives and the lives of those around us. Transforming thought is a powerful and essential aspect of creating the life we desire. Our thoughts shape our perceptions, our emotions, and ultimately our reality. In the journey of life, we often encounter challenges, obstacles, and limiting beliefs that hinder our ability to manifest our deepest desires. However, the key to transformation lies within us. By consciously directing our thoughts and harnessing their power, we can reshape our lives and create the experiences we wish to have. The first step in transforming thought is recognizing the immense power that thoughts hold. In Proverbs 23:7, we are reminded that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This profound truth highlights that our inner thoughts reflect our outer reality. If we entertain thoughts of fear, doubt, or limitation, we will likely experience a reality that mirrors those thoughts. Conversely, when we cultivate thoughts of abundance, love, and possibility, we open the door to a world of opportunities. Understanding this fundamental principle is crucial for initiating change in our lives. To begin transforming our thoughts, we must first engage in self-reflection. This involves taking a step back to observe our thought patterns and identifying the beliefs that no longer serve us. Many of these beliefs are deeply rooted and may have been formed in childhood or through life experiences. By bringing awareness to these limiting beliefs, we create the space needed for transformation. This process is not always easy. It requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. However, it is an essential step in reclaiming our power. Once we have identified limiting beliefs, we can begin the process of reframing our thoughts. This involves challenging negative thoughts and replacing them with empowering alternatives. For example, if we often think, "I am not good enough," we can transform that thought into, "I am worthy of love and success." By consciously reframing our thoughts, we begin to shift our mindset and cultivate a more positive and empowering internal dialogue. In Romans 12:2, we are urged to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This renewal of the mind is a crucial aspect of our spiritual journey, enabling us to align our thoughts with our highest potential. Affirmations play a significant role in the process of transforming thought. By using positive affirmations regularly, we can reinforce new beliefs and cultivate a mindset of abundance and possibility. Affirmations are statements that reflect the reality we wish to create. For example, we might say, I attract opportunities for growth and success, or I am surrounded by love and support. When we repeat these affirmations, we begin to internalize them, gradually replacing limiting beliefs with empowering truths. In Isaiah 55:11, we are reminded that my word that goes out from my mouth will not return to me empty. Our words have power, and by speaking affirmations, we set the intention for our desired reality. Moreover, visualization is a powerful tool that complements affirmations and supports the transformation of thought. Visualization involves creating mental images of our desired outcomes, allowing us to vividly experience the emotions and sensations associated with our goals. When we visualize, we engage our imagination, which is a creative force that can bring our desires to fruition. In Hebrews 11:1, we learn that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Visualization nurtures our faith by allowing us to experience the reality we wish to create before it manifests physically. The practice of mindfulness is another essential aspect of transforming thought. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, observing our thoughts without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we become aware of negative thought patterns as they arise, allowing us to choose our responses consciously. This awareness creates space for transformation, as we can redirect our focus to positive and empowering thoughts. In Philippians 4:8, we are encouraged to think about whatever is true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, and commendable. By consciously choosing to focus on these positive attributes, we can transform our thought patterns and cultivate a mindset that attracts positivity. As we embark on this journey of transforming thought, it is essential to practice patience and self-compassion. Change takes time, and we may encounter setbacks along the way. It is crucial to approach this process with kindness toward ourselves, acknowledging that transformation is a journey rather than a destination. In 2 Peter 3:9, we are reminded that the Lord is not slow to fulfill His promise, as some count slowness, but is patient toward you. Just as we are called to be patient with ourselves, we can trust that the universe is aligning in our favor, guiding us toward our desires. Another powerful aspect of transforming thought is cultivating a community of support. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who uplift and inspire us can significantly impact our thought patterns. When we engage with others who share our vision and values, we reinforce positive beliefs and create an environment conducive to growth. In Proverbs 27:17, we learn that iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. By sharing our journeys with supportive individuals, we can hold each other accountable and celebrate each other's successes. Furthermore, we must remember that transforming thought involves taking inspired action. While our thoughts are powerful, they must be paired with action to create tangible results. Taking steps toward our goals, no matter how small, reinforces our belief in our ability to manifest our desires. In James 2:17, we are reminded that faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. By acting on our thoughts and intentions, we demonstrate our commitment to transformation and open ourselves to opportunities that align with our desires. As we navigate the path of transforming thought, it is crucial to embrace a mindset of gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, fostering a positive and abundant mindset. In 1 Thessalonians 5:18, we are instructed to give thanks in all circumstances. By cultivating gratitude for our current circumstances, we open ourselves to the flow of abundance and create a fertile ground for transformation. Gratitude acts as a magnet for positive experiences, drawing in the very things we wish to manifest. Affirmations are a powerful tool for aligning our emotions and reinforcing our vision. By repeatedly stating positive, present tense affirmations, we reprogram our subconscious mind to believe in the reality we wish to create. For example, if your desire is to experience financial abundance, you might use affirmations such as, "I am prosperous and financially free," or "money flows to me easily and effortlessly." When these affirmations are spoken with conviction and feeling, they help to dissolve limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering truths. This is in line with the principle stated in Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Our words have the power to create or destroy, to build up or tear down. By speaking life-giving words over our desires, we activate the creative power within us. One of the most critical aspects of manifesting reality is to take inspired action. Manifestation is not a passive process. It requires us to act in alignment with our desires. This does not mean forcing outcomes or striving through sheer willpower, but rather taking steps that feel right and aligned with your vision. These are actions that flow naturally from a place of confidence and trust in the process. James 2:17 reminds us that faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. We must couple our faith with action, demonstrating our belief in the inevitability of our desires. It is essential to remember that manifesting reality is not just about obtaining material possessions or achieving specific goals. It is about becoming the person who naturally attracts and creates the life they desire. This transformation begins within. As we align our thoughts, emotions, and actions with our highest vision, we not only manifest our desires but also evolve into a higher version of ourselves. This is the ultimate purpose of manifestation: to grow, expand, and realize our true potential. Manifesting reality is a powerful and transformative process that begins with a clear vision and unwavering belief. By aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions with our desires, speaking life-giving affirmations, taking inspired action, and practicing gratitude, we unlock the creative power within us. Trust in the process, release attachment to outcomes, and allow the universe to guide you. Remember, you are a co-creator of your reality, and the power to manifest your deepest desires lies within you. Embrace this truth and watch as your dreams unfold before you in miraculous and unexpected ways. In the journey of life, the power of awareness serves as our guiding light. It is through awareness that we recognize the profound truth that the external world is merely a reflection of our inner state. Every thought, emotion, and belief we hold shapes the reality we experience. When we harness this power consciously, we transform from passive observers into active creators of our destiny. Stillness, as echoed in Psalm 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God," invites us to quiet the mind and connect with our true nature. In this space of inner peace, we tap into the infinite potential within us. Imagination, the sacred tool of creation, becomes our canvas, where we paint the life we desire with vivid colors and boundless possibilities. As we align our thoughts and emotions with this vision, we forge an unbreakable connection with the universe, which responds to the energy we emit. Overcoming limitations begins with the understanding that they exist only in the mind. When we dare to affirm new possibilities and release the chains of fear, we step into the vastness of our own power. Affirmations become the script we write for our lives, transforming the dialogue of doubt into a song of hope and triumph. As John 10:9 states, "I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out, and find pasture." We realize that through our awareness and conscious intent, we open the door to infinite abundance and peace. Letting go of fear is essential in this process. Fear is a falsehood that obscures the truth of who we are: beings of love, light, and limitless potential. When we release fear, we make space for love, the highest vibration that connects us to the divine. Embracing love and compassion not only transforms our own lives, but also radiates outwards, touching those around us and elevating the collective consciousness. The transformation of thought is the gateway to a transformed life. Every thought we entertain has the power to create or destroy. By choosing thoughts that reflect our highest aspirations, we reshape our reality and align with the divine plan for our lives. As we master this art, we realize the profound truth found in Psalm 56:10, "In God, whose word I praise, in the Lord, whose word I praise, our words and thoughts." when aligned with divine wisdom, become the creative force that shapes our world. Manifesting reality is the ultimate expression of our awareness. It is the moment when what we have envisioned in the depths of our soul takes form in the physical world. This process requires faith, patience, and unwavering belief in the unseen. By releasing attachment to specific outcomes and trusting in the perfect unfolding of divine timing, we witness miracles manifest effortlessly. As we stand in gratitude for all that is and all that is yet to come, we become a magnet for the blessings of the universe. In conclusion, the power of awareness is the key that unlocks the door to our divine potential. It is the awakening to the truth that we are co-creators with the divine, capable of manifesting a life of purpose, joy, and abundance. As we cultivate stillness, embrace our imagination, affirm our highest truths, and live from a place of love, we align ourselves with the infinite possibilities that await us. Remember, the life you desire is already within you, waiting to be realized. Step boldly into your power, for you are the architect of your reality, the author of your destiny, and the embodiment of divine love in motion. There's something powerful in knowing that you are not here by accident. Each of us has a path, a journey, a purpose that is uniquely designed just for us. Even in those moments of doubt, confusion, or pain, know this: God has a plan for you. Life, as we all know, is not a straight road. There are twists, there are valleys, and sometimes we feel as though we're standing still. But let me tell you something, it's all part of the bigger picture. Every setback, every challenge, every unexpected turn is leading you closer to the divine plan that God has already crafted. Sometimes we can't see it because we're in the midst of it. But trust me, it's unfolding, even when you can't understand it. There are moments when you may question your purpose, question your worth, and wonder if you're on the right track. I want to remind you today, you are exactly where you're meant to be. You are not lost. You are being shaped, refined, and prepared for something far greater than you can imagine. When life feels overwhelming, when you're met with obstacles that seem impossible to overcome, that is the time to lean into faith. Because God doesn't make mistakes, He's intentional. The struggles you face today are building the strength you need for tomorrow. I know there are days when the plan feels unclear. But faith isn't about seeing the whole staircase, it's about taking the first step, even when you can't see where it will lead. That's the beauty of walking with God. You don't have to have all the answers because He already does. You just need to trust. Understand this: no experience in your life is wasted. Every joy, every heartbreak, every victory, and every loss has meaning. They are threads in the tapestry of your purpose. And when the time is right, you'll see how it all weaves together into something beautiful. Your plan is not like anyone else's. Don't be discouraged if your path looks different. Don't compare your journey to others, because your path is divinely tailored. What God has for you is for you. No one else can claim it. No one else can walk it. You are destined for greatness, but you must trust the process. So today, release the need to control every aspect of your life. Surrender. Let go of the idea that you have to figure it all out. God is guiding you even in the moments that feel the darkest. Keep moving forward with faith, because God has a plan for you, and that plan is always for your highest good. Trust in that and watch how life unfolds with grace and purpose. There's a deep sense of peace that comes when we truly understand that God has a plan for each and every one of us. It's comforting to know that we're not wandering through life aimlessly, but that every step we take, every decision we make, is all part of a greater divine design. Trusting in God's plan means believing that everything in your life is happening for a reason, even when you can't immediately see what that reason is. It's knowing that no matter where you are right now, you're exactly where you need to be for your growth, for your journey, and for your purpose. Life, as we all know, can be unpredictable. We face challenges, disappointments, and moments of pure confusion. There are times when we feel completely lost, as though we've taken a wrong turn somewhere and ended up in the middle of nowhere. In those moments, trusting that God has a plan for us can feel like the hardest thing in the world. We wonder why things didn't work out the way we hoped, why we're facing certain hardships or why the timing of life feels so off. But that's exactly when trust matters the most, when we don't have the answers and we can't see the way forward. Trusting in God's plan doesn't mean we have to understand every detail. It doesn't mean that we'll always know why things are happening as they are. In fact, more often than not, we won't understand until much later, when we look back and see how each moment fit perfectly into the larger picture. Trusting God is about surrendering our need to control the outcome. It's about letting go of the need to know every step of the journey and embracing the mystery of life. We don't have to have it all figured out because God already does. He's seen the end from the beginning, and His plan is always perfect. But how do we trust when life feels uncertain? How do we hold on to faith when everything around us seems to be falling apart? The key is understanding that God's plan is not dependent on our circumstances. It's not swayed by what's happening in the world around us or by the challenges we face. God's plan is steady, unchanging, and always working for our good even when we can't see it. One of the most powerful things we can do is to remind ourselves that God's timing is not our timing. We often have our own ideas about how things should unfold, about the timeline of our lives, and when certain milestones should be reached. But God sees things from a higher perspective. He knows when the time is right, and He knows what's best for us in the long run. There may be delays, detours, or even complete shifts in direction, but none of these are accidents. They are all part of the journey, and they are all leading us to where we're meant to be. It's also important to recognize that trusting in God's plan doesn't mean we sit back and do nothing. Trusting God is an active process. It means stepping forward in faith, even when the path ahead isn't clear. It means taking the next step, even when we don't know what comes after that. Trusting God is about moving forward with confidence, not in our own abilities, but in the knowledge that He is guiding us every step of the way. When we trust in God's plan, we can find peace in the midst of uncertainty. Instead of constantly worrying about the future, we can rest in the assurance that God is already there, working things out for our good. We can stop striving, stop trying to force things to happen, and instead allow life to unfold in the way that it's meant to. That doesn't mean we won't face challenges or obstacles. In fact, trusting God often means walking through difficult seasons, but with the assurance that those seasons have a purpose. Every challenge, every hardship is an opportunity for growth, for refinement, and for becoming the person God has called us to be. Trusting in God's plan also allows us to let go of comparison. It's easy to look at someone else's life and feel like we're falling behind, like we're not achieving enough or progressing quickly enough. But God's plan for your life is uniquely yours. Your path is not meant to look like anyone else's, and your timing is not meant to match theirs. When you trust that God has a plan specifically for you, you can let go of the need to compare and instead focus on walking your own path with confidence and faith. There's a beautiful freedom that comes when we release the need to control everything. When we trust in God's plan, we no longer have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. We don't have to have all the answers. We don't have to worry about every little detail. Instead, we can rest in the knowledge that God is in control, that He is guiding us, and that His plan is always for our highest good. There may be times when we doubt, times when we question if we're really on the right path. In those moments, it's important to pause and remind ourselves of God's faithfulness. Look back on your life and see the ways that God has been there for you, guiding you and providing for you, even when you didn't realize it at the time. Every blessing, every opportunity, every closed door that led to something better, those are all reminders of God's perfect plan for your life. When we take the time to reflect on God's faithfulness, it becomes easier to trust that He is still working, even in the moments when we can't see it. In the end, trusting in God's plan is about surrendering our will to His. It's about saying, I may not understand it all, but I trust you, God. I trust that you know what's best for me. I trust that you are leading me where I need to go. It's about releasing the need to control every aspect of our lives and instead allowing God to lead us on the journey that He has designed specifically for us. Trusting God doesn't mean life will be free from challenges. It doesn't mean we won't face difficulties or setbacks. But it does mean that we can face those challenges with a sense of peace and confidence, knowing that God is in control. It means that we can walk through life with faith, even when the path ahead is unclear. Because we know deep down that God's plan is always for our good, always for our growth, and always for our ultimate purpose. Trust in that, and you will find a peace that surpasses all understanding. Recognizing divine guidance in everyday moments requires both an open heart and an attentive spirit. It's about becoming more aware of the subtle ways in which God communicates with us, guiding us along the path He has laid out. Too often we expect grand signs or extraordinary events to confirm that God is directing our steps, but divine guidance is frequently found in the quiet, ordinary moments of life. It's in the soft nudges, the still small voice, and the everyday experiences that, when viewed through the lens of faith, reveal God's presence and purpose. To recognize divine guidance, we must first acknowledge that God is always present and always communicating with us. He speaks to us through our thoughts, feelings, circumstances, and even through other people. The challenge is not whether God is guiding us, but whether we are tuned in to hear Him. Life can be so busy, filled with distractions, noise, and the pressures of daily responsibilities, that we often overlook the subtle ways God is trying to lead us. Recognizing divine guidance requires us to slow down, be still, and make space in our lives for quiet reflection and spiritual awareness. One of the most profound ways God guides us is through our intuition. That inner sense, that gut feeling, is often the Holy Spirit gently prompting us in a particular direction. When we feel a sudden clarity about a decision, or a deep sense of peace about a certain course of action, we are experiencing divine guidance. This inner voice may not always be loud or dramatic, but it is persistent. The more we learn to trust this intuitive sense, the more we can align our actions with God's will for our lives. However, tuning into this guidance requires discernment. Not every thought or feeling is divine guidance, which is why it's important to ground ourselves in prayer, meditation, and spiritual practices that help us stay connected to God. Another way to recognize divine guidance is through the doors that open and close in our lives. Sometimes God's direction comes in the form of opportunities that arise seemingly out of nowhere. A job offer, a new relationship, or an unexpected invitation can be God's way of pointing us in a new direction. Similarly, closed doors such as a missed opportunity or a plan that falls through can also be divine guidance. We may feel disappointment or frustration when things don't go as we hoped, but often God is protecting us from something that isn't meant for us, or He is redirecting us to something better. It's important to remember that closed doors are not signs of failure, they are often blessings in disguise, guiding us toward a path that is more aligned with God's plan. Divine guidance can also be found in our relationships. God often uses the people in our lives to guide us, whether it's through a conversation, a word of encouragement, or even constructive criticism. We may not always recognize it in the moment, but looking back, we can often see how certain people were placed in our lives for a reason. These individuals may offer wisdom or perspective that helps us see a situation more clearly. Sometimes a friend's advice, a mentor's counsel, or even a stranger's kind word can be exactly what we need to move forward. God uses our connections with others as a channel for His guidance, and by paying attention to the relationships in our lives, we can often discern His direction. Circumstances are another way through which God provides guidance. When we encounter unexpected events, whether positive or challenging, these moments often carry messages from God. A sudden detour, a delay, or a coincidence may all be part of a divine plan that is leading us to where we need to be. Even difficulties and struggles can be a form of guidance, pushing us to grow, to change direction, or to rely more fully on God. When we are facing a challenge, rather than asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can shift our perspective and ask, "What is this teaching me?" or "How is God using this situation to guide me?" By viewing our circumstances through a spiritual lens, we can begin to recognize the ways in which God is leading us, even in the most unexpected situations. Prayer is one of the most important tools for recognizing divine guidance. When we are uncertain about a decision or a direction in life, turning to prayer allows us to seek God's wisdom. Through prayer, we open ourselves up to hearing from God, and we invite His presence into our decision-making process. It's important to remember that prayer is not just about asking for guidance, it's also about listening. Often we may pray for answers but fail to make space to listen for God's response. After praying, taking time to sit in silence, to meditate, and to reflect can help us hear the still small voice of God more clearly. Over time, as we develop a deeper relationship with God through prayer, we become more attuned to His guidance in our everyday lives. Another aspect of recognizing divine guidance is paying attention to the recurring themes or signs in our lives. Sometimes God communicates with us through patterns or repeated messages. We might hear the same advice from multiple sources, encounter the same scripture verse in different contexts, or notice certain themes emerging in our lives. These patterns are not coincidences, they are often God's way of getting our attention. When we start to notice these recurring signs, it's important to reflect on what God might be trying to tell us. What is the message that keeps coming up? What direction is God pointing us toward? By staying open and attentive to these signs, we can begin to see how God is guiding us through the everyday details of our lives. Recognizing divine guidance involves trusting the process. Sometimes we won't have all the answers right away. God's guidance may not come in the form of a clear, immediate direction, but rather as a series of steps that unfold over time. It's important to trust that even when we don't see the full picture, God is leading us. Each step we take in faith brings us closer to understanding His plan. Often divine guidance is revealed in hindsight. When we look back, we can see how God was guiding us all along, even in moments when we felt lost or uncertain. Recognizing divine guidance in everyday moments is about staying open, attentive, and grounded in faith. It's about tuning into the subtle ways God communicates with us, whether through our intuition, circumstances, relationships, or recurring signs. It's about trusting that God is always present, always guiding us, and always working for our good, even when we can't see the full picture. When we cultivate a spirit of openness and reflection, we begin to see that divine guidance is all around us, leading us every step of the way. Learning to trust God's timing is one of the most challenging yet rewarding aspects of our spiritual journey. We live in a world that values speed and instant gratification, where everything is expected to happen immediately. However, God operates on a different timetable. His timing is perfect, but it often doesn't align with our own. Trusting His timing requires patience, faith, and a deep understanding that there is a purpose behind every delay, every wait, and every moment where it feels like nothing is happening. It's in these moments of waiting that some of the most profound growth and transformation take place. When we think about trusting God's timing, it's essential to acknowledge that God sees the bigger picture. While we may be focused on the here and now, concerned with our immediate needs and desires, God has a long-term plan for our lives. He knows what is best for us, not just in this moment, but for our future. There are times when we might feel frustrated because we're not seeing the results we want as quickly as we would like, but God's timing is always intentional. He is orchestrating things in ways we cannot see, ensuring that everything aligns perfectly for the greater good of our lives. What might feel like a delay to us is often divine preparation. One of the most common struggles people face when trusting God's timing is the temptation to take matters into their own hands. When we don't see immediate results, we can become impatient, trying to force outcomes or rush through situations. However, when we take control instead of waiting on God, we often end up making decisions that lead to more confusion or delay. The story of Abraham and Sarah in the Bible is a prime example of this. God promised them a child, but when the fulfillment of that promise didn't happen quickly, they took matters into their own hands. The result was unnecessary complications and heartache. If they had waited for God's timing, they would have avoided much of the pain they experienced. This story teaches us the importance of patience and trust in God's plan, even when it doesn't unfold according to our expectations. Patience is a key virtue when it comes to trusting God's timing. It's easy to be patient when everything is going according to plan, but the real test of patience comes during the waiting periods of life. Whether we're waiting for a breakthrough in our careers, healing from an illness, or clarity in a relationship, these periods of waiting can feel excruciating. However, the waiting process is often where God is doing His most significant work in us. Waiting is not passive, it's active trust. It's during these times that God is molding and shaping us, developing our character, strengthening our faith, and preparing us for the blessings to come. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 3:11, He has made everything beautiful in its time. This verse reminds us that God's timing is not just perfect, but beautiful. What may seem like a delay to us is actually God's way of ensuring that everything falls into place in the most extraordinary way. Trusting God's timing also involves letting go of our need for control. As human beings, we often want to control every aspect of our lives. We want to plan our future down to the smallest detail, and we want things to happen on our timeline. But life doesn't work that way. We can't control everything, and the more we try, the more anxious and stressed we become. Trusting God's timing requires surrender, releasing our grip on the reins and allowing God to lead the way. It's about acknowledging that we don't have all the answers and that God's wisdom far surpasses our understanding. This act of surrender is incredibly liberating. It frees us from the burden of trying to force outcomes and allows us to rest in the knowledge that God is in control. During the waiting period, it's essential to stay connected to God through prayer and reflection. When we're waiting for something important, it's easy to become fixated on what we don't have or what hasn't happened yet. This can lead to frustration, doubt, and even resentment. But when we turn to God in prayer, we are reminded of His presence and His promises. Prayer is not just about asking God to move faster or to give us what we want. It's about aligning our hearts with His will. It's about finding peace in the waiting, knowing that God's timing is always perfect, even when we don't understand it. Through prayer, we can find the strength to keep going, to trust the process, and to maintain a sense of hope, even in the most uncertain of times. Another important aspect of trusting God's timing is recognizing that His delays are not denials. Just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. There are times when God says wait because He is working behind the scenes, setting things up in ways that we cannot see. There are also times when God says no because He has something better in store for us. Trusting God's timing means believing that He knows what is best for us, even when it doesn't match our desires. It's about having faith that, in the end, everything will work out according to His plan, and that plan is far greater than anything we could imagine for ourselves. In many cases, we don't fully understand God's timing until we look back. Hindsight is often where we can see the beauty of God's plan unfolding. There may be times in our lives when we were desperate for something to happen, only to realize later that if it had happened on our timeline, we wouldn't have been ready for it. Maybe the job we wanted so badly would have been overwhelming if we had received it earlier, or the relationship we longed for wouldn't have been right at that time. It's only when we look back that we can see how God was protecting us, preparing us, and positioning us for something better. Trusting God's timing also helps us develop a sense of gratitude. When we learn to trust that God is working all things together for our good, we can find joy and gratitude in the present moment, even if we're still waiting for certain things to unfold. Instead of focusing on what we don't have or what hasn't happened yet, we can choose to be grateful for what God is doing right now. Gratitude shifts our perspective. It allows us to see the blessings that are already present in our lives, and it helps us cultivate a sense of peace and contentment, regardless of our circumstances. Trusting God's timing is a journey of faith, patience, and surrender. It's about releasing our need for control and allowing God to lead the way. It's about finding peace in the waiting and believing that God's plan for our lives is always for our good. Even when we don't understand the delays, even when we're tempted to take matters into our own hands, we can rest in the assurance that God's timing is perfect. He is always at work, orchestrating things behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, and preparing us for the blessings to come. When we trust His timing, we open ourselves up to experiencing the fullness of His love, grace, and provision in our lives. The idea that God's plan for your life is greater than you could ever imagine is both comforting and empowering. It speaks to the vastness of God's wisdom and love for us, reminding us that no matter how grand our dreams or ambitions may seem, God's vision for our lives far surpasses anything we could conceive. This truth invites us to step into a life of faith, where we trust not only in the promises of God, but also in His boundless ability to create something far more beautiful and purposeful than we could ever envision on our own. When we reflect on the concept that God's plan is greater than anything we could imagine, it's essential to understand that God sees us fully. He knows us better than we know ourselves. He created us with unique gifts, talents, and purposes that are intricately woven into His divine plan. While we might have goals or desires that seem big to us, God's plan encompasses not just our personal fulfillment, but the ways in which we are meant to impact others, bring light to the world, and fulfill His broader purpose for humanity. This means that when we align ourselves with God's plan, we step into a life that is not only about personal success, but about making a meaningful difference in the lives of others. Often our human tendency is to dream within the confines of what we believe is possible based on our current circumstances. We may set goals or have aspirations, but they are often limited by our perceived abilities, resources, or life situations. However, God's plan for our lives is not constrained by these limitations. In fact, He often calls us to step beyond what we believe is possible, to embrace a vision that feels far beyond our reach. This is because God operates in the realm of the miraculous. He takes our limitations and turns them into opportunities for His power and glory to be revealed. What may seem impossible to us is entirely possible with God. One of the key aspects of understanding that God's plan is greater than we can imagine is realizing that His timing and process may not always align with our expectations. We might have a clear idea of what we want or where we want to go, but God's plan often involves a journey that we cannot foresee. This journey may include challenges, detours, or even periods of waiting, but each step is a necessary part of the process. God uses these experiences to shape us, prepare us, and equip us for the greater plan He has in store. Even the difficult seasons of life are not wasted. They are part of the refining process that leads us toward the fulfillment of God's greater vision for our lives. At times, God's plan may involve leading us in directions we never anticipated. We may have our hearts set on a particular path, but God has a way of surprising us by opening doors we didn't even know existed. These unexpected opportunities or changes in direction can be unsettling at first, because they require us to step out of our comfort zones and into the unknown. However, when we trust that God's plan is greater than our own, we can embrace these moments with faith and confidence. We can be assured that God is leading us towards something even better than we had imagined. One of the most powerful examples of God's greater plan can be found in the lives of individuals who have experienced profound transformations or breakthroughs that they never saw coming. Many people have stories of how they pursued one path, only to be redirected by God into something far more significant. These stories often involve moments of surrender, where individuals let go of their own plans and fully trusted in God's guidance. It's in these moments of surrender that God's greater plan begins to unfold in ways that surpass all understanding. We see this in the lives of biblical figures such as Joseph, who, after being sold into slavery and enduring years of hardship, rose to a position of great influence that allowed him to save his people. Joseph's story is a testament to how God's plan is always greater, even when the path to fulfillment is filled with unexpected twists and turns. Another aspect of God's greater plan is the way in which He uses our lives to touch others. Often we think of our personal success or happiness as the ultimate goal, but God's plan is much broader. He uses our lives, our stories, and even our challenges to inspire, encourage, and uplift those around us. When we step into God's greater plan, we become vessels of His love and grace, impacting the lives of others in ways we may never fully understand. Our influence extends far beyond what we can see, as God's plan involves not just our individual lives, but the ripple effects of our faith, love, and service in the lives of others. God's greater plan also involves the fulfillment of promises that we may not even be aware of. The Bible is filled with examples of people who received blessings far beyond what they had hoped for. Abraham, for instance, was promised descendants as numerous as the stars, even when it seemed impossible due to his and Sarah's old age. Yet God fulfilled his promise in a way that far exceeded what Abraham could have imagined. Similarly, God often has promises for us that we may not yet see or understand, but he is faithful to fulfill them in his perfect time and way. It's important to remember that God's plan for our lives is rooted in his love for us. He is not a distant or indifferent God. He is intimately involved in every aspect of our lives, and his plans for us are always good. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This verse is a powerful reminder that no matter what we are going through, God's plan is ultimately for our good. His love for us is so great that he desires to bless us, to give us a future filled with hope, and to guide us into a life of purpose and fulfillment. In embracing the truth that God's plan is greater than we could ever imagine, we are called to live with a sense of expectancy and trust. We don't have to have all the answers or know every detail of how our lives will unfold. Instead, we can rest in the assurance that God is in control, and his plan for us is beyond our wildest dreams. This doesn't mean that we won't face challenges or disappointments along the way, but it does mean that we can move forward with confidence, knowing that God is working all things together for our good. Understanding that God's plan for your life is greater than you could ever imagine invites you to live a life of faith, trust, and surrender. It calls you to let go of your limited view of what's possible and embrace the limitless possibilities that come with aligning your life with God's will. His plan is not just about your personal success, it's about fulfilling a greater purpose that impacts the world around you. While the journey may not always be easy or predictable, you can have faith that God is guiding you toward a future that is filled with hope, purpose, and blessings beyond your imagination. When you trust in his greater plan, you step into a life that is far more extraordinary than anything you could have ever dreamed. Life is a journey filled with highs and lows, triumphs and challenges, moments of joy and seasons of struggle. One of the greatest truths we can hold on to during these times is that every challenge we face is part of a bigger picture, a journey that God has carefully designed for our growth and transformation. Embracing life's challenges as part of the journey means recognizing that adversity isn't just a random, unfortunate occurrence. It's a critical part of our spiritual development and a necessary step on the path to fulfilling God's divine plan for our lives. When we encounter obstacles, it's natural to feel frustrated, discouraged, or even defeated. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if, instead of viewing challenges as roadblocks, we saw them as stepping stones? Each trial we endure is an opportunity to build strength, resilience, and deeper faith. It's during the difficult times that our character is tested and refined. Without challenges, there would be no growth. We would remain stagnant, unchanging, and unprepared for the bigger and better things that God has in store for us. In many ways, challenges are like a refining fire. Just as gold is purified by fire, so too are we purified through the trials we face. It is through these experiences that we learn patience, humility, and perseverance. Every challenge presents an opportunity to lean into faith, to trust that God is working even when we don't understand his ways. The Bible tells us in James 1:2-3, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." This verse reminds us that there is a purpose to our pain, that God is using it to build something beautiful within us. When we face hardships, it's easy to ask, "Why is this happening to me?" But a more powerful question to ask is, "What is this teaching me?" Every difficulty we encounter holds a lesson, something we can take with us as we continue on our journey. Whether it's learning to let go of control, discovering the depth of our inner strength, or gaining empathy for others who are going through similar struggles, challenges are our greatest teachers. They push us out of our comfort zones, force us to confront parts of ourselves that need healing, and ultimately shape us into the people we are meant to be. Sometimes challenges come into our lives to redirect us. What may seem like a setback could actually be God's way of steering us onto a new path, one that is more aligned with our purpose. We've all had experiences where something didn't go as planned, a job didn't work out, a relationship ended, or a door we were hoping would open remained firmly shut. In those moments, it can be hard to see beyond the immediate disappointment. But when we look back, we often realize that those closed doors were blessings in disguise. God knew what we didn't, and He was protecting us from something that wasn't meant for us, or preparing us for something even greater. Embracing challenges as part of the journey also means accepting that we won't always have the answers right away. Sometimes we have to walk through difficult seasons without fully understanding why certain things are happening. It's in these moments that faith becomes our anchor. Faith tells us that even though we can't see the whole picture, God is at work. He is using every trial to strengthen us, to prepare us, and to draw us closer to Him. When we trust in God's plan, we can find peace even in the midst of chaos, knowing that everything is happening for a reason, and that in time we will see the purpose behind our struggles. There's a well-known quote that says, "Smooth seas do not make skilled sailors," in much the same way. A life free from challenges does not make strong, resilient individuals. It's through the storms of life that we learn how to navigate with courage, how to trust God even when the waters are rough, and how to hold on to hope when everything around us feels uncertain. Each challenge we face equips us with the tools we need for the next part of our journey. It's like building spiritual muscle. Every time we overcome an obstacle, we become stronger, more capable, and more prepared for the future. Another important aspect of embracing challenges is recognizing that we are never alone in our struggles. God walks with us every step of the way. He is our strength when we feel weak, our comfort when we feel afraid, and our guide when we feel lost. In Psalm 23:4, the psalmist writes, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff. They comfort me." This verse is a powerful reminder that no matter how dark or difficult the road ahead may seem, God is with us. He is guiding us, protecting us, and leading us toward His perfect plan. One of the most beautiful things about embracing challenges is that it allows us to develop a deeper sense of gratitude. When we go through difficult times and come out on the other side, we gain a greater appreciation for the good things in life. We learn to cherish moments of peace, to celebrate small victories, and to recognize the blessings that we might have otherwise taken for granted. Challenges teach us to be grateful for our strength, for our faith, and for the ways that God provides for us, even in the midst of hardship. It's also important to remember that challenges are temporary. No matter how difficult a season may be, it will not last forever. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. God promises in Isaiah 43:2, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you." This verse reassures us that even though we may face deep waters, we will not be overcome. God is with us, and He will see us through to the other side. Ultimately, embracing life's challenges as part of the journey is about trusting in the process. It's about recognizing that every obstacle we face is a stepping stone towards something greater. It's about believing that God is using our struggles to shape us, to grow us, and to prepare us for the purpose He has for our lives. When we embrace challenges with faith, resilience, and a spirit of gratitude, we are able to move through life with a deeper sense of peace, knowing that every part of the journey, both the good and the difficult, is leading us closer to our divine destiny. Faith is often described as a belief in things unseen, a trust in something greater than ourselves, even when we don't have all the answers. Leaning into faith during times of uncertainty is not just an abstract concept, it's a powerful practice that can transform the way we navigate life's most challenging moments. When everything around us feels unstable, when the path ahead is unclear, faith becomes the anchor that grounds us. It's the assurance that even when we can't see the full picture, God is at work behind the scenes, guiding us and leading us to where we are meant to be. Uncertainty is a natural part of life. We all go through seasons where we don't know what the future holds, whether it's uncertainty in our careers, relationships, health, or finances. These are moments that can evoke fear, anxiety, and doubt. We may feel like we're walking in the dark, unsure of the next step to take. It's in these moments of uncertainty that faith becomes most critical. Faith allows us to take a step forward even when we can't see the entire staircase. It's the belief that although we may not know what lies ahead, God does, and He has a plan that is unfolding in ways we may not yet understand. Leaning into faith means surrendering our need for control. As humans, we have a natural tendency to want to control every aspect of our lives. We want to know what's going to happen next, how things will turn out, and what the future holds. But the reality is, we can't control everything. Life is full of twists and turns that we can't predict. Trying to control outcomes often leads to frustration and stress because we are fighting against the flow of life. Faith, on the other hand, invites us to let go of that control. It's about acknowledging that while we may not have all the answers, God does. It's about trusting in His plan, even when we don't understand it in the moment. One of the greatest challenges we face during times of uncertainty is the feeling of vulnerability. Not knowing what the future holds can make us feel exposed, as if we're standing on shaky ground. But faith offers a sense of security in the midst of that vulnerability. When we lean into faith, we are reminded that we are not walking through life alone. God is with us every step of the way, and He has promised to guide and protect us. The Bible tells us in Isaiah 41:10, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This verse is a powerful reminder that no matter how uncertain life may feel, God's presence is a constant source of strength and support. Faith also helps us to shift our perspective during uncertain times. Instead of focusing on what we don't know or can't control, faith encourages us to focus on what we do know, that God is good, that His plans are for our good, and that He is always working on our behalf. When we lean into faith, we begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. We start to recognize that every season of uncertainty is a chance to strengthen our trust in God, to deepen our relationship with Him, and to develop the qualities that will prepare us for the next stage of our journey. In times of uncertainty, our faith can also be a source of hope. It's easy to feel discouraged when things aren't going as planned or when we're faced with the unknown. But faith reminds us that our current circumstances are not the end of the story. God is still writing the narrative of our lives, and the best is yet to come. When we hold on to faith, we are able to maintain a sense of hope, even in the midst of difficult situations. This hope is not based on wishful thinking or blind optimism, but on the firm belief that God's promises are true, and that He is faithful to complete the work He has started in us. Another aspect of leaning into faith during uncertainty is learning to embrace the waiting period. Often uncertainty comes with a sense of waiting for clarity, waiting for a breakthrough, waiting for God to reveal the next step. Waiting can be difficult, especially in a world that values instant gratification. But faith teaches us that there is purpose in the waiting. It's during these periods of waiting that God is working behind the scenes, aligning the right people, circumstances, and opportunities for our good. The waiting period is not wasted time, it's a time of preparation. Just as a seed must be planted in the dark soil before it can grow, so too must we often endure periods of uncertainty before we can fully step into the next season of our lives. Leaning into faith also requires us to stay connected to God through prayer and reflection. During times of uncertainty, it's easy to become overwhelmed by our fears and doubts. But when we take the time to quiet our minds, to seek God's presence, and to pray for guidance, we are reminded of His constant love and care for us. Prayer is a way to center ourselves in faith, to release our worries to God, and to trust that He is guiding us even when we can't see the way forward. It's through prayer that we can find peace in the midst of uncertainty, knowing that God hears us and that He is always working for our good. One of the most important things to remember during times of uncertainty is that faith is not a passive state, it's an active choice. It's a choice to trust God, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's a choice to believe in His goodness, even when we don't understand why certain things are happening. It's a choice to move forward with confidence, knowing that God is in control, and that He is working all things together for our good. There will always be moments in life when we don't have all the answers, but that's where faith comes in. Faith allows us to step into the unknown with courage, to trust that God is leading us, and to believe that, no matter what happens, His plan is for our good. Leaning into faith during times of uncertainty is about embracing the unknown with confidence, knowing that God's love, guidance, and provision are always with us. It's about releasing our fears, trusting in His perfect timing, and walking forward with the assurance that we are never alone. In conclusion, recognizing and embracing the truth that God's plan for your life is greater than you could ever imagine is the key to living with faith, purpose, and fulfillment. While life may not always unfold the way we expect or desire, trusting in God's perfect timing and infinite wisdom allows us to navigate challenges with grace and patience. Every step, every delay, and every unexpected turn is part of a divine process that shapes us into who we are meant to be, leading us towards something far more beautiful and meaningful than we can comprehend. When we surrender our plans to God and allow Him to guide us, we open ourselves up to the miraculous, to blessings beyond our wildest dreams, and to a life of deeper purpose that touches not only our own hearts, but the lives of those around us. So as you continue your journey, trust that God's plan is unfolding perfectly, and it is greater, more abundant, and more powerful than anything you could ever imagine.